Hey there, fellow watchers. It's that time of the week again, Born to Watch. Origin stories seem to be a dime a dozen nowadays, so much so that it's become a trope in itself. I was never a huge comic book guy. Damo, were you?
Nope.
Gow?
No.
All I really knew about Iron Man or any other Avenger, except for the Hulk, was the dodgy 60s cartoon. I could never envision what was about to happen. On the 14th of April 2008, in the Greater Union Theatres in George Street, Sydney, Iron Man was released to the world.
In Sydney?
In Sydney. It would start what would be called Phase 1 of the MCU. In 2008, this meant nothing, but it was where it all started for Marvel, who would dominate the box office for a decade, culminating in the monstrous Avengers Endgame in 2018.
Culmination.
Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark would be the centerpiece of the greatest multi-character franchise of all time. 22 movies, including Spider-Man Homecoming, in 11 years, and it all started here. With a roll of the dice on a washed-up drug addict and a first-time blockbuster director, and boy, did they win big. Now let's meet my fellow Avengers. Avengers! Assemble. G-Man, how are you?
Was it Avengers after Iron
Yeah,
Man?
it was, but we're using that.
Right, using it.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm suited up and ready for action.
Yeah, I love the
Got my
glove.
on,
I
got
love
my
the glove.
on. I'm ready to go. Let's dissect this movie.
Is that production quality?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is actually offset, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent. Damo, how are you, bud?
I'm very good. The glove is amazing, yes.
Are you refreshed after a week off?
A week off, I listened to your Goodwill Hunting. Must say, extremely disappointed. You got a whole movie with Ben Affleck in it, Hollywood's greatest sidekick actor, not one mention of it.
Look, we can't roll it out every time he does.
We've covered his side dick.
Well, not enough.
There's a lot to cover.
I think you've got quite an affinity for the Affleck side dick.
Well, I'm going to tell you that the day that I get to do film school for F-Wits, it's going to be on the best side dicks in Hollywood.
It should be an illustrious group.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Bacon.
The line is long but distinguished. Yeah.
Sure is.
Well, so is my side dick. Okay, movie is 15 years old. Going to set the over and unders here at 15. I'm going to start with you, G-Man. Where do you sit on this one?
I'm pretty close to 15. I'm at 3.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Including the rewatch.
Okay.
That should tell you where I sit with the Marvel universe.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And did you see this at the movies?
No, I did not. No,
Okay.
I didn't see it at the movies. I caught it. I don't think I even saw it when it first came out. I think I caught it a couple of years later.
Okay.
And then a couple of rewatches with the kids, of course, who are obsessed by it.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're smart. Damo?
Yeah, well, I smashed Gow because I'm on 4.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow. Hang on a minute. Hold the horses
This
here.
could be your most watched movie.
No, it's not. But it's the first time that he has not finished last
Yeah.
in the group.
Yeah, I know.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's good. Well, 4, 6,
Yeah.
that's 24, mate.
It is, yeah.
That's a lot.
It is, it's heaps.
That's heaps. Look, I'm over, but not a heap over. Like, this obviously came out when we're at the video shop.
Yes.
So it was a good renter. I'd say I'd be 22. So not huge for me. Some of them would have been in the video shop. I've got a very interesting story about Iron Man. I saw this at the cinema.
Yep.
I saw this at Warriewood Cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I wasn't a comic guy. Didn't have a whole heap of knowledge about Iron Man, to be honest. Only knew the cartoon.
Yep.
And, to be honest, the cartoon's not that great.
It was brilliant back when I was a kid watching it.
Yeah, for sure. But to be honest, the song is great, but the Captain America song is better.
Oh, Captain America song's great.
When Captain America throws that mighty shield. So I've gone, I'm on my own. I must have gone 2 or 3 weeks after the opening of this movie. I've gone on my own to Warriewood Cinemas. And it was in one of the smaller cinemas. It was as soon as you came up the stairs, the first one on your right.
Yep.
So it was one of the smaller cinemas. Went and bought
Is that irrelevant?
It is. It is. So I went and bought a large Coke and a Choc Top and proceeded into the cinema.
Wow, the plot's thickening.
It is.
It's incredible.
I was the only person in the cinema.
Oh.
There was not another soul in there. I didn't know what to expect. I'd heard that it was pretty good, but obviously have no relationship with Iron Man. From the first minute, because it gets you with AC/DC, you're going, this is not like a protagonist I've seen before.
Yep.
He's cheeky.
Yep.
He's arrogant. He's the kind of guy I'm like, I'm in it. I'm in. From minute one, it's got me. Obviously, then when he blows up, I'm like, shit, I'm really in. Can't leave. I know this is a long story. Yeah, he's looking at his watch. Can't leave. Sitting there watching. Now, my bladder control, which is exemplary nowadays, having done the Mount Rushmore, having done Avatar twice, did Dead Reckoning and did Oppenheimer without doing a wee.
Wow.
Back then in 2008, it was a young bladder, not as well trained.
Yep.
So it got towards about 3/4 of the movie where you sort of can't leave the cinema. You cannot leave the cinema for 1 minute in the last third of this movie. Too much happens. And I'm like, I can't leave. And I am busting for a piss.
Oh, hang on. I hope this isn't going
So
the way I think it's going to go.
I finished my Coke.
Exactly the way I'm thinking.
And it's like I just sort of look down and it's in the cup holder there and I go,
Yeah.
And then I look around. Then I start scanning the corners for cameras.
Yeah.
And I can't leave the movie. So I snuck to the end of the row, back row where I was, into the corner, knelt down, peed in my cup.
Wow.
But never took my eyes off the screen.
Look, that's amazing. And you never
Whole wang in the cup.
Yeah.
So there was no spillage.
That's right.
Took a leak in the cup, put the lid back on,
Nice.
put it a couple seats down, watched the movie. Finished the movie.
Yeah.
I did pick the cup up and took it to the bin.
The bin?
Yeah, just put it in the bin.
The garbage bin.
Excellent for someone to pick up.
Yeah.
Wow. Look.
Yeah. Look, it's not a highlight.
I don't think it. I reckon you'd be in like the top, people. There would be 2 or 3 people in the world that may have done that.
Well, there you go. Look, it's nice to be top of the tree, but in honesty, have you never thought of it?
No.
You see, I reckon you could have said, when I watched it, I was in the cinema and I pissed in a cup.
Yeah.
That could have been the story.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, but you've got to set the scene, Gal. I'm a
Yeah.
storyteller.
He is. Yeah.
Like you're the voice of a generation. Right?
I'm a songbird. I'm a songbird.
You're
of
the
a
songbird
generation.
of a generation. Sorry, I'm the storyteller of a generation.
Wow.
And then I was a very proud father-son moment. Was we went and saw another movie with Luke. He was busting for a leak.
Sword fights in the
Got him to pee in the cup.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, we move on. A little insight into what goes on behind the scenes of Born to Watch.
Jeez.
Now it is time for the trailer.
No one's allowed to talk, is that it? You can't talk?
No, you intimidate them.
Good God, you're a woman. Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both? I humbly present the Jericho. To peace.
Tony Stark. Now you work for me. What are you building, Stark?
Your eyes are red. Your tears for your long-lost boss?
Tears of joy. I hate job hunting.
Yeah, vacation's over.
Welcome home, sir.
Put up the scanner, will you? What happened over there? I have my eyes open. I want to protect the people I put in harm's way.
A man with a dozen of these can rule all of Asia.
Yeah, I can fly.
Let's see if this dog can hunt. So the upgrade is complete.
Tell you what, throw a little hot rod red in there. Hey, good luck. Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing. There's been speculation that I'm parading around as a superhero. I'm just not the hero type, clearly.
Oh, Marvel, they know how to put together a trailer. Jon Favreau, he's an absolute genius. G-Man, why don't you tell us about Iron Man?
All right, with the tagline, heroes aren't born, they're built.
Oh, I like that.
Suit up for action with Robert Downey Jr. in the ultimate adventure movie you've been waiting for. When jet-setting genius industrialist Tony Stark is captured in enemy territory, he builds a high-tech suit of armor to escape. Now, he's on a mission to save the world as a hero who's built, not born, to be unlike any other. Tony Stark, genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Son of legendary inventor and weapons contractor Howard Stark, he's the cool exec with a heart of steel. Like how I threw that in there, Damo?
Steel. Yes.
Yeah, nice. All jets ablaze.
Yeah.
Very good. That sums it up pretty well. I love that you threw the last bit in there. We'll get to that a little bit later. Critical thinking. IMDb has Iron Man rated 7.9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been 1.1 million reviews. Now, to put that into some sort of scope, last week we did Good Will Hunting. It had 1 million views. It came out 11 years earlier. So this has had 1.1 million views since 2008. So it's pretty well reviewed. Rotten Tomatoes has this certified fresh 94% on the tomato meter and a 91% audience score. So it's well thought of.
Yep.
We've got a good review here. Jimmy Emerson of RogerEbert.com.
Right.
Not only is it a good comic book movie, smart and stupid, stirring and silly, intimate and spectacular, it's winning enough to engage even those who've never cared much for comic books or the movies they spawn, like me.
For sure.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
That's what this movie's job was to do.
Yeah. Did it well.
Yeah.
Did it well. Okay, I've got a bad review here from Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian. Despite the convulsively jittery address to the role, Downey is never in the smallest degree engaging in the way director Jon Favreau appears to think. It's the shittest review
It doesn't.
I've ever heard because
it's incorrect.
he's great.
Downey Jr. is awesome in it and is engaging.
Yeah.
Really engaging.
Well, he's the centerpiece of 11 years.
Yeah.
He's very smooth. He's very smooth in this movie.
Oh, he's shot, eh? Don't know about that.
Smooth operator.
Okay, Gow. Ordinary people.
Well,
Take
let's
it away.
talk about him, Robert Downey Jr. He made his debut as an actor at the age of 5
Wow.
in a movie called Pound. It was a movie.
Jesus.
It's like
not like the movies you made later on.
Yeah, or watched.
Yes.
But it was written and directed by his father. So that was something he
was
started
that
early.
what was his name?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Robert Downey
Senior.
Wow.
Yes.
But look, he had a few early roles, but the biggest role he came up with 85, Weird Science. He played Ian in Weird Science.
Yeah.
And then he was in Back to School. It's Derek
Yeah, he
in
plays the
80s.
best mate,
Yes,
the
yes.
son's best
Bit
mate.
of a weird best mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then into The Pickup Artist in 87 and also Less Than Zero.
Well, Less Than Zero is 100% life imitating art or art imitating
Yes,
life.
for him it is.
Yes. It's a good movie, that.
Yeah. Air America 1990, Chaplin in 92. He's a BAFTA winner and an Oscar nominee that year. Natural Born Killers in 94.
Yeah.
And then into US Marshals.
He's good in
yeah.
Natural Born Killers before you get to US
I can't
Marshals.
remember him in it.
He's the Aussie
Oh,
reporter.
He's
He plays an Aussie guy. Yeah, he's Kirk Lazarus. It's Kirk Lazarus. But he plays the Aussie reporter that's in the jail with that is trying to interview Mallory and Mickey. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Or Mickey's interviewing.
Yeah, but good role in US Marshals. Plays the bad guy.
Plays the bad guy, yeah.
really good there.
He actually looks super drugged up in US Marshals.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks
does.
like he is at the height of his...
He's right in the middle of it
Yeah,
there.
he's right in the thick of it.
He was in Ally McBeal. He did quite a couple of seasons of that, 2 or 3 seasons. He was Emmy nominee in that, playing Larry Paul. He was in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in 2005.
Right,
and
no, well,
obviously-
this is his comeback.
Yeah.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's his comeback with Val Kilmer.
And then obviously into the Marvel Universe, he's in Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, both in 2008. Tropic Thunder in 2008 as well, where he got another Oscar nom.
That hang on.
As
Yeah,
Kirk Lazarus.
yeah. Brilliant. That
Yeah.
came out the same year as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How funny is Tropic Thunder?
It's great.
All time.
Like, seriously.
All time. There's some of the great one-liners in that movie.
Mate,
Tom
just-
Cruise is unreal in
Yep.
it.
Les Grossman.
There's some really, really good parts played
Mate,
throughout
it's just
that.
a great
Yep.
film.
Jack Black's great. And then obviously Sherlock Holmes as well. So at this stage, he goes straight all the way through into the Marvel Universe and the Sherlock Holmes
John's brother.
movies. Yes.
Yeah.
And then most recently in Oppenheimer, which has just hit the cinemas.
Yep.
Has either of you guys
I
seen
haven't
Oppenheimer
seen
yet?
it, but I've heard
No.
he's...
Okay, he's excellent. He should win an Academy Award for it.
Right.
He's very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, couple of sliding doors. He was considered for the role of Batman in the 1989 film, which went to Michael Keaton.
Wow. Okay.
Obviously, he went on to play Iron Man later on, but he was also considered for Matthew Broderick's role in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
I can see that.
I can see him doing that.
Definitely.
It'd be a little bit different, but he's got the charisma to pull
Definitely.
that off.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a better actor than Matthew Broderick.
Yeah. And he was also considered for Edward Scissorhands, which went to
God.
Johnny Depp. Now, I can see him doing that as well. Johnny Depp's really good in that movie, but I can see
Very
him
good.
doing that.
Have I told you my Edward Scissorhands movie? My
Yes.
story?
Yeah.
The one about the movie at Video Easy?
Yes.
There you go.
I don't know.
Well, in the old Video Easy in DY used to have a cordoned off section, which was the adult films.
All right.
And I remember when I was like 14. When did Scissorhands come out? It's early 90s.
Yeah.
91, 92 maybe. So Scissorhands comes out, and I would have been 14 or 15, 16 maybe. Poked my head past the curtain onto the shelf where the adult films would be.
Oh, I know what movie you're going to
Okay,
find.
so the first one I see is The Penetrator with a guy sitting on a Harley Fat Boy, as in the Terminator.
Yep.
The next one, Edward Penis Hands.
Yeah, it's one of the greats. I think it won an Academy Award.
I think it did.
Might have.
It did. An AVN.
Yes.
An AVN.
But he was almost cast as Ducky in Pretty in Pink.
Oh, that's John Cryer.
The John Cryer role,
Yeah.
and also was considered for Tom Cruise's roles in both Legend and Top Gun.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I can see. Look, I don't know. Once you see Tom Cruise in Top Gun, it's hard to imagine anyone else
there's no other
doing
Maverick.
that role.
Yeah.
But Downey Jr.
And
with the shirt off in Legend,
Yeah.
running around.
He really
The unicorns.
He really buffed up for this movie. And they really showed a few scenes where they're like, look, he's done some
Yeah,
weights.
he's lean,
Yeah.
sinewy.
Sinewy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Sinewy. I like it. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Terrence Howard. So he began his acting career after he was discovered in New York City by a casting director. He had a couple of early roles. He was cast in a role of The Cosby Show, but most of it was cut out.
Like when he was a kid.
Yeah, when he was 15.
I think he kept
filmed
falling.
an
He kept
episode.
falling asleep on set.
Oh, jeez. With the, what was the drug?
We couldn't wake him up.
I know. He being Cosby'd.
Yeah.
But look, he had some TV appearances in shows like Living Singles, in NYPD Blue, and Family Matters, but broke into the big screen in Mr. Holland's Opus in '95 by Louis Ross.
Yep.
Yeah, Big Mama's House in 2000, Lester Vesco, and then Crash in 2004.
Yeah, that's
was
his big bust out.
That's the big bust out with
Shit
obviously
movie.
Sandra Bullock, Don Cheadle.
Mm.
He was in Ray as well, played Gossie McGee, one of the band members.
All right.
And then he was in Hustle and Flow in 2005 with Ludacris. So he got an Oscar nom for that for Best Supporting Actor.
That's not a bad movie, though.
Yeah. He was in Four Brothers too. I like that movie. That was with Mark Wahlberg,
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
and Andre 3000. And most recently, The System with Jeremy Piven and Tyrese Gibson.
He's gone. He sort of went. It's funny, since Iron Man, he sort of
Yeah.
fell off the edge of the earth. Like, he sort of fell out a bit with.
Well, why wasn't he back for Iron Man 2? Why did Don Cheadle?
Well, they didn't. I don't think he was right into it. For
Right.
one,
He-
and
Look, in the first movie, he was the first cast, and he had top billing, and he was the most paid. He had the highest
Oh,
pay,
wow.
right? And then obviously the movie went blockbuster, and Robert Downey Jr.'s back. I'm not sure if he asked for more money for the second one,
Yeah.
but he got replaced by Don Cheadle.
Don
pretty
Cheadle.
quickly.
he
Yeah,
was.
pretty
Well, Don
quickly.
Cheadle's a much better actor than him.
Yeah, well, apparently they wanted the character of Rhodey to be English, so who else
Oh,
could you
yeah,
get?
that's right.
Yeah.
One of the great London accents.
It was
One of the
I
great
think it was
others.
a actor's choice to make it American in Iron Man 2.
He was also considered for the role of Curtis Taylor in Dreamgirls. That was the Jamie Foxx role.
Dreamgirls is an
Yeah, Jennifer
amazing
Hudson. Is it?
film. I fucking love Dreamgirls. That was at the video shop. I reckon my overs and unders on that are 250.
Wow.
250.
Jeez.
The girls in the video shop loved it. They didn't love it as much by the time it was done because it used to get played ad
Yeah.
nauseum.
Yep.
But anyway, hopefully you're listening, old Jess Wood or young Jess Wood.
Mm.
Yeah, she loved it. Patience made me cry.
Patience by
Beyonce.
Guns N' Roses.
Beyonce by Beyonce.
Right.
It's very good, powerful.
All right.
Oh no, listen. Sorry, the song's Listen, not Patience.
Okay.
Listen. It's a great song. Gaz laughing at me.
Because we went to Patience, Guns N' Roses. No. Beyonce.
No, it's Listen.
Okay.
Listen by Beyonce in Dreamgirls.
All right.
Patience from Guns N' Roses is good too.
Oh,
though.
my
Yeah.
God.
Gaz getting the shits at me. It's
No,
great.
not at all. I was waiting to see where you were going with it.
It's not going anywhere. Who's next, Cow?
All right, let's go. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, legend.
Son of Lloyd and brother of Bo Bridges.
Yes.
Yeah, but how good's Lloyd though?
Lloyd in Flying High or Airplane, one of the greatest cameo
Hilarious.
appearances or
Yep.
short appearances. Wouldn't be a cameo, I guess. More would be.
No, he killed it. He killed the Flying Highs.
Oh God.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Oh my God.
He's
Just
so
his hair.
Yeah.
His hair. My God.
How much did that movie just make you laugh as a kid?
Oh, I know.
Watching that. Just hilarious.
Mate,
Yeah.
it's still funny today.
But Lloyd Bridges' faces are just
Yeah.
unbelievably funny.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, both those boys, they starred alongside their mum. She was an actress as well in The Company She Keeps in 51, and they were also starred with their dad in here was a TV show called Sea Hunt, which is around in
Sea
the
Hunter.
early.
I think he's a pretty good bloke. I don't think he's a sea hunter at all.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Cow, did you know that was going to play out that way?
No, I did not. That was unintentional.
I could tell. As soon as Cow said it, he looked at my eyes and it registered
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah, but he read it as SEA. So, but we
He's a sea hunt.
Yeah, he's a
okay.
sea hunt. Yes.
Yeah.
It's Mike's brother.
Yes, it is.
But look, his first coming of age role was The Last Picture Show in 71 with Timothy Bottom. Sybil Shepherd was in that as well.
Oh,
Made
Sybil.
them all stars.
Sybil.
Moonlighting.
Randy Sybil.
And then Thunderbolt and Lightfoot in 1974.
That's such a long time ago.
Yep.
But it's a good movie.
Mate, that's 50 years ago.
Is that a cowboy movie? I can't remember.
It's a. They're on the road. They're on the run.
road.
They're-
Oh, in
it's
the
like
country.
on motorbikes. is
Yeah,
it?
oh, no,
in
it's in the
cars,
cars.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
there
like
you
a
go.
road movie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have seen
Yeah, they're
it.
criminals.
Yep.
But Tron in 82.
Oh, that was good.
How good was Tron?
And Bruce Boxleitner.
yeah.
was in it.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
What was Bruce Boxleitner in?
Bring It Back Alive. It's
No.
Frank Buck.
But he was in a show, wasn't he? Bruce?
Yeah, that was it. That was called Bring It Back Alive.
And,
It was
he's also in
There was something.
the one with Michael J. Fox.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
one.
yeah. With
Yeah.
Sabrina
Bruce
from
Boxleitner.
Charlie's Angels.
Right.
Boxleitner.
Bruce
Yeah.
Boxleitner. Yeah, but yeah, Tron. Hey, that was groundbreaking. Tron when that came out.
Loved that movie.
Yeah.
I watched that so many times as a
Yeah.
kid.
It was good.
Jeez, it was
Very
good.
good.
Yeah, he was also in Starman in 84 with Karen Allen.
Cow, I think you've left one out.
What?
Phil Collins. Take a look at me now. Against all odds with Rachel Ward.
Oh, he was too.
Fucking hell.
She's beautiful.
She's 50 out of 10.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he plays this PI or something, and he goes down to Mexico or South America on the hunt for her and falls in love with her. It's so good. It's so bad, but it is so good. The bit on the beach. Oh.
Really? I can't-
And I tell you what, Jeff Bridges in the 70s and early 80s.
Good looking man.
Seriously fuckable.
Yeah, really good looking man.
Yeah. Like if we do the lay down with in the cucumber patch,
Yeah.
and I can go back to the 70s or 80s, I'm taking Jeff Bridges.
You're not going to go for Bo Bridges?
Mate, he was
I'll give
he
Bo
was
a
a
miss.
good looking. He was good looking in Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Mate,
he
he's
was
great.
killing it. But him and Clint.
Mate,
Him and Clint
Jeff
in their
Bridges
early days.
would have been slaying.
Yeah.
He would have been
Yep,
Hawk for
Swordsman.
sure.
Hawk the Slayer.
Hawk the Slayer.
He was in The Fabulous Baker Boys 89, The
Oh,
Fisher
yeah.
King with Robin Williams, which came up last
Yeah.
week, The Vanishing with Kiefer Sutherland in 93.
It's an interesting movie.
Yep. And then obviously The Big Lebowski 98.
Oh, the dude.
The Dude.
What are your thoughts on the Big Lebowski?
Awesome.
I know, Gal, you love it, Damo.
Don't know. I don't think I've finished it.
Okay.
So that movie, you watch it once, you walk away sort of going, that's odd and different, and there's a lot of different parts to it.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
why I think I turned it
sort
off.
of grows on you.
Right, yeah.
It's like mold.
Yeah, and then you think about it and you rewatch it. It's
Yeah.
a really good movie.
Again,
Some good
he's
lines in
he's
that.
very good, but it's the secondary characters that make that movie. So
It's
it's
all of
Steve
them.
Buscemi,
Oh,
it's John Goodman,
John Goodman's awesome in it.
it's Jesus. What's his name? Guy who plays the.
Yeah, I can't think of
I
his
forget
name.
his name.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very good as well. It's such a good movie. Coen Brothers,
Right.
very funny.
The Nihilists.
Yeah. Julianne Moore's very good.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great movie.
There's heaps of them. It's
What a
good movie.
cast! Like seriously.
Then after that, Seabiscuit, obviously Iron Man. He was in Crazy Heart in 2009.
He won an Academy
yeah.
Award for Crazy Heart, I do believe.
He did.
Best actor.
He was in
Plays
the
a
remake
Western.
of True Grit.
Oh,
in
that's a
2009.
great movie, and that's got the girl in it. What's her name? The God, we're gonna have to cut this. Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, she is incredible. It was her first role.
Right.
She's gone on to be just massive, and she's a great
singer
sort.
as well.
Yeah, she sings. She's in the
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect movies.
Yeah.
She can really sing,
Yeah.
and she's also in
She's a good sort.
the bloody
Hawk.
Hawkeye.
Hawk Slayer.
Hawkeye TV show with Jeremy Renner.
Hawkeye the Slayer.
Hawkeye the Slayer.
And most recently, he's in a TV show called The Old Man with John Lithgow.
That's really good too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
that's
supposed
really
to be.
good.
I haven't seen
Is that like
yet.
The Odd Couple?
No, he's a hitman. He plays a hitman.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's a bit different to that then.
Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
So he was considered for the role of Harrison Ford's role in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Easy.
I can see it.
Could see it.
I can see
he
it.
was never offered it, but it was considered for
I can
it
see him
when they-
dressed in the hat. I can see him looking like a good-looking Morgs in a Cobra hat. Yeah.
He turned down Pretty Woman and Ghost in the late 90s. So
Oh, wow.
interesting, right? Pretty Woman.
He could have done that.
I could see him doing that when he was looking
100%.
good. Ghost.
No, I can't.
Well, you can't
Suarez.
see anyone but the
with Demi
Swayze.
Moore,
can you?
yeah, with Demi Moore.
He's a
Yeah.
bit old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Is
a
he
bit
a bit
old
old
for
for that
Yeah,
role?
yeah,
you
I think so.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. He was considered for Robert De Niro's role in The Taxi Driver as Travis Bickle.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to see anyone that Robert De Niro
No.
after that,
Yeah.
right?
No. Be interesting to see how long he was considered for, because Scorsese and De
Well, it's
Niro
hard to
were
know. They
pretty
say
chummy.
they
Yeah.
say they're considered. You
Yeah.
don't know what that means. So
Yeah.
does it come across and they say, yeah, no,
Yeah,
not
maybe
right.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, who knows?
Yep.
Look, him and Nick Nolte, the nut tuck himself, were considered.
Has that okay?
There's another film school for F-wits.
Watchers,
Saggy as nuts.
watchers. We're going to ask for some help here. We don't do it very often because we're obviously super knowledgeable about what we do. Can someone confirm or deny that Nick Nolte had an oversized scrotum that he needed to be tucked, get a little bit of skin fold tuckage
Of course it's true.
nipped in
Of course it's true.
because it was just too long? Can we confirm this,
Mate,
please?
He couldn't do any side dick because the nuts were out.
Oh, he couldn't. He was all
That's-
balls.
it was
It was
all
all balls. It was side balls.
and and there's your proof.
Yeah.
No side dick. Okay.
Big
That's
balls.
your proof.
Big balls.
Old big balls himself. But yeah, him and Jeff Bridges were considered for the
He's all
roles in
balls.
Heat that went to Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
She had a great ass.
Thanks, Al.
And he was also considered for Kurt Russell's role in The Thing.
I can
Now,
see
I
that.
can see him doing that
actually
back in
look
82.
similar.
And
Yeah.
Bridges does a good beard. He does
Yeah,
good beard.
yeah.
Good
Luxurious.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
good
his
beard.
I like his beard in Iron Man.
Good beard.
Yeah. I want you to marry it.
Also, Christopher Walken's role in The Deer Hunter. He was-
Wow.
wow.
God, he's.
No,
I tell you what, he
been
knocked
around.
a few
Well,
back.
yeah.
Do you know another movie
Well, I know
he's
he
really,
knocked it back.
he's really super sexy in is King Kong with Jessica
Yeah.
Lange. Jessica
Oh,
Lange's
yeah,
looking
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. she is a good
77, I
sort.
think that movie came out.
Yeah.
Original King Kong.
Um,
Not the original, but the first remake.
Yeah.
The original came out in the 30s. So
Yeah. He was in it.
he wasn't that
Lloyd
old.
might have been in it.
Lloyd starred as Kong.
Lloyd was going to pass it down the line.
Kong sniffed glue.
Look, Gwyneth Paltrow's next. We've talked about Gwyneth.
Yeah, we
before
only
in
just did it
Seven.
recently, didn't we?
Yeah. The
Good.
big thing here is that Rachel McAdams passed up this role,
Yeah.
which would have been great. I think
Oh,
she'd have been
God.
great as Pepper Potts.
You know what, though? I've got it in Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and the Pepper Tony,
Too young.
she's too, I think she is too young.
I think we discussed this when we did
I think she is
Wedding
too.
Crashers.
I think she is too young to be Pepper Potts in this movie.
compared to Downey
Compared to-
Jr. who was like 45.
Yeah.
She would have been 28.
But you can't deny the chemistry of Paltrow and Downey Jr. here.
Really, I didn't like it that much.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it
Oh,
was that good.
you didn't like Gwyneth?
No, I didn't like their chemistry. I don't know. It
Okay.
didn't really hit me when I
Okay.
rewatched it.
Sure.
Wasn't happy with it.
It was yeah, I know, but they didn't realise it themselves either. Kind of like that's
No.
sort of the movie
Yeah.
because they're
No,
not
that's
they're
true.
not together or
That's
anything.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could just see there's a hint.
There's something there.
Yeah, it's a bit of but
It's unrequited.
this is probably Gwyneth. She looked really good in this show.
She looked really good in this movie.
Yeah, I
She looked good with the red hair.
Yeah.
yeah, I think she looked great.
One of the few. It's all right, Chrissy does listen to this.
But yeah, anyway, so let's move on from there. Do we need to talk any more about
I
Gwyneth
don't-
Paltrow? I think
I
we
don't
can
think
leave
so.
that.
No, we'll leave Goop alone.
Should we talk about Jon Favreau?
Yeah, talk about him. He's a legend.
Yeah, he's really
Absolute legend.
Yep.
He obviously was an actor before he started producing and directing a lot of these movies. His first movie was in Rudy.
Right.
Played as D-Bob.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be in Rudy.
Yeah. It was a good stepping stone.
Great movie. Great movie.
I haven't seen it for so long.
Yeah. I haven't watched it for 20 years, I
Yeah.
reckon. Jeez,
Yeah.
it was a good flick. He was in Batman Forever. He played an assistant before he was in Swingers, and that was the movie. Him and Vince Vaughn became mates on the set of Rudy. And,
Right.
that's how.
Right. Okay.
And that's how they came together and sort of and made that movie. And he was obviously in Swingers was the insecure guy coming out of a love problem.
Mate, we talked
with a
about it
breakup.
last week. It is
Yes,
one of
I've-
the
I've
it
heard
is
this
one of
somewhere.
the cringe scenes in the history of cinema is when he keeps ringing that bloody woman, that girl. It is so bad. It's actually making me feel a little sick at the moment thinking about it.
And Vince Vaughn obviously played the cool playboy.
Yeah.
And that was the sort of roles that I guess defined them as they moved forward, the type of characters they became.
Yep.
But after that, he was in Friends. He did 6 episodes of Friends as Pete
Plays
Becker,
the
the
ultimate
billionaire,
fighter.
the ultimate fighter.
That's right,
Monica's
yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I tell you what, Monica saw some dick in Friends. God, she went through a few.
Yeah. So, it was this pre the Replacements.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
Replacements
Replacements
is
was 2000.
yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay.
the 90s.
Yeah,
Friends.
this is-
right.
This
yep.
is 97, 98. So he was in Deep Impact in 98. Gus Partenza.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm
So Deep Impact Armageddon. Where do you sit?
both.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, both. Yeah, I would go probably Deep Impact over Armageddon, but both of them are just no thanks.
I remember Armageddon because Morgs and I watched it in Canada with our Canadian rugby friends, and they all cheered when Australia was
Got blown up.
was blown up. They all cheered and clapped in the cinema.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't fare well in Deep Impact. Gus Partenza didn't end well for him.
No.
After that, obviously the Replacements said he was in Elf in 2003, which he also directed.
So, but that character in The Replacements, I suppose, like in Friends, he's kind of like that Tackleberry from Police Academy.
Yes, absolutely.
Sort of. Oh, he's that mental case. He's just going to go nuts, and he does that pretty well.
Yeah.
But he's not a huge guy. He's thick set, but he's not.
He lost a lot of weight for this movie.
He
He lost a lot of weight for this movie.
He's not super
He
tall,
lost
but
70 pounds.
he does look like a bit of a unit, though.
Yeah, he's chubby now again.
Well, and you see him in
Yeah.
Swingers. Yeah, he was really skinny when he was young there, and he obviously got a lot larger, and then lost a bit of that weight again.
Big dog could eat.
Yeah. But look, 2003 was in Something's Got to Give with Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, and obviously Iron Man 2008, Couples Retreat 2009. He has a good role in that. I like that.
He's with
Yeah.
Kristen, the
Kristen
girl from.
Bell.
No, is he with Kristen Bell or is he with the one from Sex and the City?
No, he's with the redhead. She's got the red hair.
Is he one from Sex and the City? Anyway,
I can't remember.
No.
Cynthia Nixon.
no,
No,
no.
no. Obviously, the
Sloane
Wolf of,
Nixon.
so he's also starred in The Wolf of Wall Street. He was in Chef in 2014.
That's a
with
great
RDJ,
movie, Chef.
yeah,
A
and
really good
ScarJo.
movie.
And obviously Spider-Man, Avengers, Solo, and The
Oh.
Mandalorian.
Well, he directed and created Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look,
Thank you.
He directed, obviously, the Iron Man movies. He directed Cowboys and Aliens, directed
Oh,
Chef.
yeah.
He directed The Jungle Book, The Lion King remake,
Yeah.
and The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's,
So
he's big on the directing.
And he's produced a lot of those too. He's been a producer in a lot of those movies. So
he's massive.
he's got his hand in everything. yeah.
He is big, but if you look at him, he doesn't look like a movie star.
He's unassuming.
Yeah.
I reckon he'd be a good fella. Something about him. I think he'd
yeah.
be a good bloke.
He seems like a real down to earth
Yeah, good bloke.
bloke. Yeah.
Yeah. Real Danny to earth.
Yes.
You can take that any way you want, Gal.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. The gross for this movie. Domestically, 318 million. Internationally, 266.5 for a worldwide of 585 million. A budget of 186 million dollars.
Yeah.
That's a big investment.
It is. It's
right?
huge.
Considering it's got to double its budget to make any money, really.
Yes.
And this was the first movie they financed, I think.
Yeah, Marvel.
Marvel
It was their first
itself.
standalone, yeah.
Yeah. So the opening weekend did 102 million. So they're well on their way.
Yeah.
But look, for that year, it put it at number 8.
2008 has got some massive movies. in
Huge
it.
movie.
We,
Huge
we've done
2008.
we've done
We have
Four
done before.
movies. What
Yeah.
movies, boys? Tell me what
Dark Knight.
movies. Yes.
Step Brothers,
Yes.
Taken,
Yes.
this one.
One more.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you've got me.
Yep.
Hang on.
No.
Oh, I can't.
Rock and Roller.
Oh, well, there you go.
right,
It's a
yeah.
shit movie.
Yeah, that can't.
You couldn't
That's
remember.
not, it can't even be in with that list.
I
of
got
other
the good.
four.
I got the good
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, so look, The Dark Knight obviously took this out, just over $1 billion. Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull, 786 million. Kung Fu Panda in at 3,
Great movie.
631. Hancock at 4. Hancock.
God, did
Yeah.
that?
Hand on.
Yeah.
And Madagascar, Escape to Africa,
That's the second one.
600 million. Yeah, so that was it. Slumdog Millionaire
Yep, won
took out a
Yep.
lot of things with obviously Best Picture, Best Director for Danny Boyle, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Score. Sean Penn, Best Actor that year for Milk.
Milk.
and Kate Winslet for The Reader. And obviously Heath Ledger got his Best Supporting Actor there. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button received the most nominations with 13.
Shit movie.
Yeah. And Slumdog Millionaire had 10.
Wow.
Well done, G-Man. For Morgs' sake here, he's been asking a little bit about whether we're getting any lick-outs.
Oh, right.
And we've had a couple. Well, we've had more than a couple, but I've just one that you'll appreciate, Damo. We'll start with that. So a little while ago that Johnny Bull, who the OG.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, well, you said, I'm sure that he used the word awesomeness. So the other night I was on engaging with our fan base, and there's a message that came up on the Goodwill Hunting post that I did about playing blah, blah, blah. And I go, and it's from William Bull, who is John Bull's son, William.
Oh, right.
And it was one word. Awesomeness.
Love it.
It's a family
Runs
trait.
in the family. Well done,
nice
William.
work.
Keep listening, buddy. We love that we're tapping into the youth. Tell your friends. Tell them not to let their parents listen to you listening to it, but obviously you get the thumbs up from your dad and from your mum.
Yep.
So we love the Bulls.
Nice work.
And
Awesomeness.
and that's no bull.
I get it.
Okay, second one. It's from a good fan, one of the OGs, one of our mates. He's been on the podcast, Sloan Nixon.
Right.
Dan. Reckons there's way too much action in Mission Impossible Fallout, and then says he loves Con Air.
Yeah, true.
What a fuckwit.
Yeah, Sloane's on the money maybe there.
Yeah.
You knew when it started with Dan that it wasn't going to be good.
You singled him out.
Nice work, Sloan. I like
I'm
that.
glad that people are seeing Daniel for who he is.
He's the sniper, Sloane. He's picked the person out.
He
He's
does.
his
He
target.
does snipe. He snipes on Gow. He's got a new nickname for Gow. Gow's called the Agreeer Guy. So he just agrees with what everyone says, he reckons.
I don't think so.
Sloan thinks your nickname's the Agreeer Guy. So anyway, now that you know that, you probably won't. But thank you, Sloan. You do pick on everyone on the podcast. You don't
Yeah,
just...
thank you. We'd like all to be picked on, please.
Please.
Yeah.
I get plenty of pick-ons. Don't worry. It's usually just from within.
Yeah.
I don't agree with what he said.
See there, Sloane, hey, in your face.
Funny. Okay, 2008 hit, sleeper, or dud. We have done this year
We've done
before, but
this,
it is
yeah.
a massive year. And because we only do one movie for each thing, there's usually plenty of movies to go around.
Yeah.
I've gone deep in this one.
Okay.
So my 2008 hit, I don't think we've spoken about it, The Wrestler.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Mickey Rourke, Marissa Tomei, directed by Darren Aronofsky. A faded professional wrestler must retire but finds his quest for a new life outside the ring a dispiriting struggle. Now, it has to be based on Jake the Snake's life. Has to be, right? Because I've seen a doco on Jake the Snake,
we went to the movies and saw a wrestling doco.
Well, that was Beyond the Mat. That was
Okay.
excellent.
It could be a whole heap of those
Mate.
wrestlers because a lot of them have a very, very similar tale.
Yeah. Not Chris Benoit.
Snake tails.
No. Oh no, but a lot of them have those.
The
issues.
Rabbit Wolverine.
Yeah,
Killed his wife
That was
and
no good.
Yeah.
child and killed himself. But this is a typical Aronofsky joint. Super depressing, quite arty, really powerful. And Mickey Rourke is incredible in the movie. Well worth a watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Get fucked.
God.
Really leaning into it. Damo, what have you got for hit?
Well, I'm not sure if one of us said it last time, and we've already mentioned it tonight, is Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you said it last time.
No, I said The Dark Knight.
Ah, right, you did.
So, and I went, has to be Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is amazing. It will be covered on this podcast. Danny McBride.
Oh, how
is-
good is he? Yeah.
Mate, if he's not one of the funniest 5 people on planet Earth,
Yeah.
he is incredible. But the movie is just so funny.
Yeah. It's
So funny.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I caught
From
some of it the
go
other
to
week.
woe.
Ben,
Yeah,
Ben
of course.
Stiller as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
like
Just
the-
everyone in it. Everyone in it.
Old saggy nuts, Nolte,
Yeah.
as 4-leaf tayback. You know, the way he talks and everything.
Mate, the whole thing's just
and the
brilliant.
Peck, Matt McConaughey. Like,
Yeah.
everything about
TiVo!
it. Yes.
Gotta get my TiVo!
So funny.
What about who's the guy that's Les Grossman's offsider? He's off Saturday Night Live.
No, he's also the guy in...
He's in Barry. He's in the series.
the-
Barry.
Bill Hader.
Yes.
Bill
yeah.
Hader. He's awesome as the guy in the background.
Bill Hader's a legend.
He's the agreeer. Everything Les
Bill Hader's a
Grossman
legend.
says. Yep.
Okay, G-Man, who you got?
I've got a hit for, and I agree with you guys' nose, but I didn't even mean to do that one. There you go.
There you go.
I've got a hit, Gran Torino.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Great flick. Loved it.
Hang on,
Really, really
did we
good
do that
story.
before?
Clint
So-
Eastwood at his best. Yeah, I've talked about it before.
Yeah, Gaz has talked about it.
Yeah. The kids try to steal his car, and he gets on side.
The
with them.
Hmongs.
The Hmongs.
Yep.
Um,
The Mongolian kids.
yeah. Just a great
That's where
ending
they're
to that
from.
movie.
They're Mongolian, the Hmongs. Well, I think it's northern China, sort of Mongolia.
Okay.
It's the Hmong region.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Clint Eastwood's amazing.
He is.
Very, very good movie. Okay, my sleeper. I've gone outside the box here. I've gone for a horror.
Yep.
The Strangers,
Oh, yes.
starring Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, one of the best
Yeah.
names in Hollywood. A young couple staying in an isolated vacation home are terrorized by 3 unknown assailants wearing masks.
Yes.
It is legitimately frightening.
Yeah.
It is a really, really good horror movie. If you've not seen it, maybe don't watch it if you don't like horror movies. But if you're up for something, get the adrenaline going. On a Saturday night, pull the shades closed so that you can't see the people in masks
Scary.
standing outside you, and get the shit scared out of you. It's very good.
Right.
Damo, sleeper.
Well, my sleeper, I just want to
Oh,
touch on my
this is
sleeper.
exciting.
My homework for
Yep.
my sleeper from 2 or maybe 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
was the Velocipastor. So it's
Mm.
the priest that inherits the power to turn into a velociraptor, and he fights baddies.
Now, I did chuckle at this because when I sourced it for you,
Yeah.
the movie goes for like 80 minutes.
It's too long.
Yeah.
No, it actually goes for 70.
It's
It's
too
an hour
long.
10. I'd say
Oh,
it's just the
God.
run time is a bit long.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit long. And
70 minutes.
Yes.
They really delve into that storyline.
you know, in the opening credits, they actually list the gaffer. So I think you're going to know that this is the sort of comedy they're kind of going for. But there's no CGI. Damn the CGI. Let's just pull out a Barney the dinosaur costume and get him and just sort of dirty him up a little bit and watch him kick some butt. But
I love it.
the you know, the prostitute who sort of helps him to guide him, she works for a pimp called Frankie Mermaid, and he's called Mermaid because he's swimming in bitches. But it's
Frankie
it-
Mermaid.
yeah, the mermaid. Yeah, Frankie. It's Frankie Mermaid or Frankie the Mermaid, and but
It's Merman.
look, I tell you that he's it's awful. It's probably a 1 out of 10. I'd
Really?
give it a 0.5 on the Born to Watch. Yeah.
Wow.
But, you know, and I guarantee you there's not going to be a 1 degree of the Velocipastor in any movie we ever
Do you know there's a sequel?
Well, I did look that up, but I couldn't see that it's actually been made.
Okay, right.
I think it's just
in pre-production.
Just,
It's like one of Morgs' scripts.
yeah.
It's all up here.
Yeah. But anyway,
Being worked on.
So my sleeper is a kids movie, and this is one that went ballistic in our video shop. It's CJ7. It's a Chinese movie. It's in Mandarin. It's this little cute little alien thing, and I tell you what, my kids loved it. All of them had CJ7 dolls. It rented so well. You can take the you can either watch it in subtitles, or you can put the English dubbing on it just from the DVD or whatever. But it was freaking tastic.
I remember
movie.
the artwork. I'm not seeing the movie.
Tell you what, it is
I
an
remember the artwork.
kids movies. 100% winner with the kids
Is it
watching this.
Subtitled?
It is subtitled,
Right.
but you can watch it in the dub, the English dub.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But it is a phenomenal kids movie. Every kid loves it that used to watch it. And I used to say, people go, it's Mandarin. They go, take it home and watch your kids. Now, every single one, 100% would come back and say, that movie is fantastic.
Okay.
The kids love it.
Good one.
Yep.
There's a bit of homework for everyone, all the watchers. CJ7.
Yep. If you got kids, they'll love it.
Okay. G-Man, what you got?
My sleeper for this time is going to be one we've already covered. It's Step Brothers.
course.
And
G-Man.
It is just a quality movie. Talking about kids in a movie.
Yeah.
2 40-year-olds acting
They're
like
kids.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. Just so many one-liners. It's hilarious. Every time you watch it, you still find yourself laughing out loud. Love it.
I'm just thinking about it.
But again, it's so great. But it's the secondary characters. It's Catherine Hahn. It's Adam Scott.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking hilarious. I think I did say it was the best
Opening,
first 24 minutes of any
Yeah.
comedy movie.
It is hilarious, and the two of them are so good together.
Yeah.
In fact, even watching the bloopers.
Oh, the bloopers are
funny
amazing.
'cause they
Bloopers are amazing.
just go off script. The two
Yeah,
of them.
no, it's
Yep.
freaking hilarious.
And some side ball.
Yeah, there's all.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Moby Dick for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might
On
make
the
my
drums.
film school for F-wits. Yeah.
Nuts on the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can rub my nutsack on your drum kit. Okay, 2008 dud, The Happening. Mark Wahlberg, directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
Science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide. This movie is a travesty. Do not watch it. It might make you commit suicide.
Right.
It is so bad.
One to miss.
It is horrific. Do not watch it. Shit house. Move on.
Rightio.
Damo dud.
Well, I had a big look, but like I did the other week, I like to find something a little bit sort of different. And being 2008, there was a massive superhero year.
Yeah.
I found another superhero movie. Now, I haven't seen it. I'm just going on the fact that this is a dud just by reading about it. But the movie is called The Adventures of Food Boy. Right? Now, this is for real. A teenage boy is surprised to discover he has the superpower of making food appear in his hands.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Any
you know?
food?
Yeah, well, look, don't go into details. That's his superpower.
I
It's
like it.
incredible.
It's a good power.
Like, what a movie.
What did he weigh?
No, it just appeared in his hands. He was just food. He was called Food Boy. The Adventures of Food Boy.
The
Mate, we might have
Adventures of Food Boy.
We might have
Yeah.
some more homework for you this
I
week.
know.
Damo.
How good does that sound?
So we've got Velocipasta, we've got CJ7.
yeah, well,
and
CJ7 is good, and The Adventures of
And The
Food
Adventures
Boy.
of Food Boy.
Superhero.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, G-Man, take it away. Dud.
Oh, I've got my dud for the year as Beverly Hills Chihuahua. do we need to say anything else?
Yeah, you always. I like it. All your duds are just mic drops. They're just absolute mic drops.
Is it a dud?
It's a dud.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Felix and her dud.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore, George Lopez,
What about
Andy
Whitman?
Garcia. But
Is it? Hang on. Is Andy Mr.
Straight nose.
Yeah.
Hang on, Damo just got a
most
bit of blood to the side
or
dip.
maybe it's not a dud.
No, it's a dud, yeah. Well done.
Any
Good choice.
dog that gets dog napped in Mexico, yeah, we
Yeah, no, it's not
can
happening.
steer clear of.
Yep.
Okay, well done. Question time. Are superheroes that are just men cooler than the others? Right, so Iron Man, he's just a man. And Batman is just a man.
Yeah, but they are superheroes.
They are
Batman,
superheroes.
Batman was like the world's greatest detective. His skills with technology,
Well, Tony Stark, you could
well-
argue, is the world's greatest engineer.
absolutely, and his ability to improvise and resourcefulness. Tony Stark, yeah, billionaire, but
Mate, he made
Super
a suit
smart.
in a cave.
absolutely,
He just made things happen.
yep,
did.
He did.
He got palladium out of somewhere and
Yeah.
got it
Out of
happening.
some
Out of his missiles.
Some
his,
missiles, and yeah. No, he is a superhero.
I agree. He's a superhero for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think they're cooler than the guys with powers? Like,
I think these guys are better because they use their brains.
they've got
a
to
lot
think more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to think more. I agree.
The greatest superhero ever is Space Ghost.
Oh, he was awesome.
What a
He
show.
was unreal.
Yeah,
What a
He-
show.
He had the things on the
Yeah,
arms.
yeah.
You pressed
What
the
a show.
buttons,
Yeah.
Bang.
What a
Yeah.
show.
That or G-Force.
You know,
G-Force, another cracking show.
Seven's Arc 7.
do you remember? Oh, yeah, but do you remember Ben Boyd?
Yeah, Boydie, yeah.
Yeah, we used to call him Space Ghost.
Well, that's because you could see through him.
we-
He looks like an oxalotl.
Well, he even like when in like early '90s, we all got Warringah bags like green, and everyone got Gilesy on mine. He had Space Ghost on his.
Nice
Good
work for
nickname.
you.
I know.
I say to the kids in my footy team all the time, I call it like, if you get a nickname, I go, it's when you don't have a nickname, you need to be concerned.
Yeah.
Because then people
Yes.
don't give 1 ounce of a shit about you.
Well, that's true. But do you remember that we had this English guy that came and played with us? Remember Luke? I can't remember his
Yes.
surname, but he said, I want to have a nickname. I want a nickname. And I think Barbara or someone said, okay, you want a nickname? It's dog shit. And then from then on, everyone just called him
Good
dog,
dog
shit.
shit, yeah.
That's not a
He said,
good
no,
nickname.
that's not my... Yep,
Yeah.
it's dog
That's
shit.
it. And
If you're going to come asking for a
No,
nickname...
you've got to
You
be
know,
given...
that's right.
Givens, nicknames are earned.
Yep.
But the thing is, the more you say you don't want it, the
100%.
harder it's
For
going to
sure.
stick. For sure.
Unless you're George Costanza and you want to be T-Bone.
Oh, one of the great nicknames.
Call me T-Bone.
Yeah.
And then the other bloke was eating a T-Bone. Oh, let's call him T-Bone.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the Rossitron on Friends.
yeah.
Oh,
No, it never came back.
The
The Rossitron.
yeah,
Yes.
and it shouldn't. Okay, so Tony decides that Stark Enterprises is going to stop manufacturing weapons. He then builds a weapon of mass destruction for himself. Ironic or narcissistic?
No, because he has learnt the most full-on lesson. He was amongst it and he saw what can happen, and he's going to try and...
So he's going to end it.
Yeah, and then again, yeah, so he's given himself a lot of bloody power, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're right. It is...
It's a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But he has realised that all these people that aren't supposed to have his weapons
Yeah,
Because his whole point of making all the
That's
weapons
right.
was,
He's been humbled
his,
massively.
his story of like, you should never fire. Well, you should fire it once so everyone knows how bad it is,
Yeah.
and then no one will do it again, right?
Yeah.
Then he realizes they're all going into the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Little does he know that he's been
Yes. Funding.
He's been betrayed by his dad's best mate, which he should have known because that's the script of all these movies. So he should have known that.
But his contracts with the American government, he thinks, this is great.
Yeah.
But little does he realise that, his weapons are everywhere. But he was.
But once he finishes it, then he thinks, well, I've got to somehow combat this.
That's right.
So
yeah.
he goes to making a
He can
suit.
only trust himself
yeah.
to wield the power.
That's right. Yeah, he's going to make amends. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the arc
Is
reactor.
that though? Is that a little bit narcissistic to think that you can be the only one that wields the
100%.
power?
100%. Yes.
But I think that's part of his trait all the way through the Marvel universe. He's a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's
He
always
is-
about him.
it
He's
is,
the smartest.
yeah.
He's the best. Only he can do it. Which is why at the end he's the one that has to do the glove.
Oh, he's a bit of a dick at the start of the movie to most people that he comes in contact with. Or
Is
he's
he a
very
bit? Do you
arrogant.
think he's a bit? I thought he
arrogant.
was funny,
Funny bugger.
man.
He's funny, but
in that Humvee
bordering
where
on.
he goes, "Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool."
Yeah. I thought
Yeah,
he
He
was
takes
you're
photo.
right.
I think
You're
I think he's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so the arc reactor works. The big arc reactor.
The big one,
The
yeah.
big one. Why aren't they concentrating on that as a source of clean energy rather than weapons?
Well, there's no money in that, mate. You want to? It's a business, mate. They're not running a bloody.
Didn't they talked about him and Obadiah and they said, we built that for show? Because it was just
Yeah, they
something,
built
something to show people, go, look what we're working on in
Yeah.
the background while
Yeah, I
we're,
get
while
that,
we're
but
That's
making.
kind of the pilot.
But obviously, if they concentrated on that, he made the arc reactor a mini arc reactor in a cave.
Yes. No, I know.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, okay, final one. Did they make the best Marvel movie first up?
For me, without a doubt, yes.
Okay, G-Man, you're not a big Marvel guy, but
I'm not a big Marvel guy. Look, they've gotten much bigger as time's gone on, but this is a good start. I'd say that. It's not the greatest movie of all time, but it's a good start,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
for that whole franchise. Yeah, I think so.
this is a top 5, probably top 7 Marvel movie for me.
Okay.
I think there are better movies.
Yep.
It's the best origin story.
Yep.
It's by far, because Captain America is so-so. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Thor is heinous.
Yeah.
All the Thor movies, the 2 Thor movies are terrible.
Except Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok's not bad.
Ragnarok's right up
But
there.
Love
for
and
me.
Thunder's horrendous.
Yeah, shit house.
Black Panther's good.
Yeah.
Black Panther's good.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I didn't like him.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a better movie than this.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
But-
first one.
Yeah, the first Guardians.
I
Yeah.
quite like the characters in Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. There's a good interaction.
I agree. I think
There's
it's
some
great.
funny characters in there.
But as a stepping stone and a start off point, this is incredible.
Yep.
Okay, it's time for the categories.
Ooh.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll start with you, G. What do you got for good, mate?
My good. Well, first thing was Tony Stark's sunnies at the start of the movie, those purpley red.
Yep.
Anyone see those? The big oversized ones?
Yeah.
Love them. Think they're
He's
great.
killed it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smashing it with those. Thought they were awesome.
He's got good sunnies all the way through.
Yeah. Wasn't sure about his brown poo suit that he wore with the
He
tie.
can do it. He can do
Pulled
it.
it off.
He pulled it
Not
off.
Sure, but
Trust
anyway,
me.
I love the opening sequence. As he said, he's a bit cool. He's a bit of a smart ass, but he's very confident.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. And then all hell breaks loose.
The thing I love about that, I've got that in mind, is the fear.
Yeah.
You can see he's all cool.
There's a lot at stake.
and then he is shitting himself.
Yep.
Well, especially when he gets out and people's heads start getting blown
Yeah,
off.
he is legitimately panicking.
Yeah.
Well,
So he's all cool until shit goes down and he's like, I'm not really that cool.
He's the 3 soldiers that we actually really got to like. Just
Yeah.
then that.
Yeah.
They're all dead.
I didn't realize you were a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
But they're all dead.
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
are.
oh my God, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. There was high stakes.
The Funvie
It's
wasn't
a bit
so
funny.
fun.
Yeah, it was a bit funny that they did stop and get out. Like, I mean, if the one got blown up in front of them, they'd be taking off.
They're not allowed. It's 100% against the rules of engagement
No, that's
to
what
stop
I mean.
when they're supposed to just go.
But what would
Yeah.
you do if a bomb blew up beside a car beside you and then you hear shots fired? Are you going to get out of the car?
Fuck
No.
no.
Of course not. So that was a bit funny. I know they got to set up the scene, but
Yeah. But unless they were about to fire a bloody missile and you're sitting
Yeah.
in it, you want
Yeah.
to get out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The other bit I liked was when the guy ran up in the cave and shot him, and the bullet ricocheted off the suit.
Oh, you
shot him in the head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Point blank range.
Yeah, I know. He just ran it right up.
Did a U-turn.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that suit, he built that suit really well. But he could take some shots, but I would have put my hand over my eyes when I was walking out. There's some big eye holes in it.
Yeah. He did have a bit of a F1 racing suit underneath it, though.
Anyway, that's my good.
Okay. Damo, what you got?
Yeah, like definitely that opening scene, that opening dialogue.
Yeah.
I was laughing. Everything was funny about the 12 girls, about the girl, oh my God, you're a woman, about the guy, don't put on your MySpace, no gang signs. Everything about that, I was laughing
I was
my head
hooked.
off.
That hooked me minute one of the movie.
Yep. That was brilliant. And then the cave, that whole cave scene.
Yep, I've got the cave scene. It's incredible.
It's a brilliant, like it really shows how he's come about and developed this and the necessity, his improvisation, his resourcefulness. He had to do it. He had a bloody car battery stuck to his heart. And it kind of, it all made sense.
Yeah.
So I loved all that. And then the testing in the garage.
Yeah.
The testing was brilliant. So this is the first 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
It's cave testing. That's the stuff I really loved, those first 2/3. And then I suppose right at the end too, when the Black Sabbath song came on, when he said, "I am Iron Man," and then Black Sabbath just kicked in. It was like, oh shit, that's good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, I've got a lot of the same as yours, but I'm going to start with world building. Okay, so it's and just watching it this time, in hindsight, it's obvious they had a master plan.
Yes.
Okay, because there's Coulson, Agent Coulson.
Yes.
And they talk about S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a better name for that,
funny.
right? That's
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
That they also have a nod to War Machine. They have a nod to the 10 Rings,
Yeah,
which
they
is the
do.
Mandarin. They have all these things that they're like, we've got a grand plan here that actually plays out all the way through.
Well, there's a catalogue of comics that goes for decades.
For sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that they could have just made it one story, but they've put all these little things in that if it works, we'll be able to use it, right?
Little seeds.
Now, I've talked about the fear, the cave breakout. I love the cave breakout. Him just smashing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like he's only got flamethrowers, so he's just beating them to death.
Yes.
And he smashes them.
No,
does.
I love the bit where he's still in the room and then he's killed a few of the guys and then the head guy comes up and shoves his two mates, goes, "You go first." Like he shoves them first and they're creeping up towards the room.
Yeah.
That was good. But yeah, he comes out and just starts spraying the fire. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, it's my turn. When he goes, my turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the flamethrowers. As I said, I mentioned, I love Pepper and Tony. I think they're back and forth. Now, a lot of that is because Tony, Robert Downey Jr. ad-libbed a lot of his lines because there wasn't a set script when this movie started, right?
Yeah.
So he ad-libbed a lot. So Gwyneth Paltrow didn't quite know what to do, which is obvious because she does seem a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of lines that she
Well,
does.
she didn't know what to say to some of his because she didn't know what he's going to say. So
Yeah.
then she's trying to
Makes
think
it
on the
tough.
spot, well, how do I react to that?
Yeah.
And it's great if you're Robert Downey Jr. or you're Will Ferrell or you're someone like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe not so good for someone that's,
Yeah.
not an ad-libber.
No, exactly right. I've got testing as well. The first test flight when he goes up the driveway and out, and then I love Kill Power and he falls through the roof and lands on the car. I thought that was unreal. The first attack when he goes to the
Into where that village was.
Coal Gear or whatever it's
Yeah.
called, and he shoots the tank and then walks away.
Yeah, with the
And it's just
explosion.
and this
behind him.
little missile's like tink,
Yeah.
and then it's like boom, and he's
then-
walking away.
with the Iron Man motif playing.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously this movie introduced us to what now has become famous as the credit scene, and it's a really cool credit scene
Yeah.
with
It's a good one.
Samuel L. Jackson
Nick
going,
Cave.
I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. It's very, very good.
Yes.
So that's what I've got. I love the movie. I think it's a great movie.
Actually, I just want to add into that doctor and that relationship with that's where Robert Downey Jr. really got humbled, seeing this man who helped him live.
Yes.
and he watched him die. It just really gave it, as I said, it raised the stakes, made it all human, and really had a big impact on Tony Stark.
Yeah.
What was his name? Jensen?
Jensen or
Jensen.
something?
He
Yeah.
said, remember he said to him, "Oh, you got your family?" He goes, "No." Tony Stark says, "No, I don't have any family." And then Jensen says, "Yeah, I'm going to see them soon."
Yeah.
So, and he knew they were already dead, so
and
he knew
yeah.
he wasn't coming out of there.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's where you go, wow, that's
Yeah.
so well written.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very good. You're
Yep.
a man who has everything and nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. That's what Yinsen says to
Yeah, that's
Tony
right, he
Stark.
does, yeah.
Man who has everything and nothing because he has no family.
And
or
then
anything.
when he was dying, he's like, "Yep, I'm going to go see my family."
Tony
was
didn't
the
know
plan.
that.
No,
Tony didn't know
no,
that.
Tony,
So
we
that
didn't-
was like,
we didn't
shit.
know that. We all thought
We
he was
didn't
going
know
to
that,
go
yeah.
see his family
Yeah.
too.
My family's dead.
Now it worked out. Oh, you're going to die
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
see your family.
Yeah. He knew-
Jesus,
that was
that's
his
heavy.
plan
Yeah,
all
he
the
knew.
time.
He
It was
knew.
heavy.
All
Yeah.
I got to buy some time.
Yeah.
Okay, G-Man, take it away for bad.
Look, hitting on a couple of things you did. He's a billionaire with the world's biggest house, but then he has to do all his testing in the garage next to his prized cars. Doesn't he have a
Yeah.
separate testing area?
Because he tinkers. He tinkers on the cars as well.
Oh, yeah. I suppose.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
know,
bloody
but
good garage.
He's a multi with all these cars.
How
I know
good's
he
the
can
like
garage?
host them.
a second section, do you think,
Yeah.
for his
I
He
testing?
could
thought-
probably
I
afford a
thought
second section.
He would have had a different area to do all of this stuff with all this, technology that he has.
Yeah.
The other one was great scene when he comes out and just like cleans house at the start out of the caves, and then takes off into the air. He's not surviving that crash.
Mate,
down.
I've got that
God,
here.
it's a long
I've got
way.
that here.
Yeah.
He's not surviving that. He hits the ground. And the other part of that is,
What's in sand?
yeah,
Soft.
but he lands into the hill, and then he leaves all that stuff he's developed, and they don't pick it up and say, "Hey, let's take some of this. I got to take this with me because I developed this
Well,
suit."
he can't because he's walking across the desert.
No, the choppers were there. The choppers landed.
No, miles after though,
Afterwards,
he's
yeah, 'cause
walking
he
off.
walked with his shirt over
He's
his head.
walking
Oh, sorry,
for
you're right,
ages.
you're
He
right.
walks for ages.
Yeah.
They go and pick up the
No,
shit.
that's true. Fair enough.
Yeah, they go and
Because
pick
I'm
up the
thinking,
shit.
why would he leave that?
Yeah.
The other one was when he's working on the flight stabilizers, and Pepper comes down and she leaves him the package, with the heart thing in it. Which
Yep.
we find out later, and obviously a cup of coffee. And then he takes off, does the flight stabilizers, goes upstairs, talks to people, flies outside, does all of that, comes back later, and then walks up, and then the cup of coffee sitting there with steam still coming off it. Did you notice that?
Ooh, G-man.
I was looking going, is that a fresh cup of coffee she's left there on the same thing?
Wow.
Yeah, it stood out to me.
The
Really nitpicking
ever
here.
hot coffee.
Well, I just saw it because I saw the steam and I was like, what? Hang
He's
on.
got
that
he's
makes
got
no
magic
sense.
cups.
I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
magic cups.
Wow, that's a keen eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I thought, we know it's a superhero movie, so I get at that. But he went from smashing, which I thought was quite funny when he first took off. He goes, let's go 10 whatever it was,
Yeah.
and smashed himself into the wall in his garage. But then he just takes off and flies through the night and then goes, let's take it as high as I can until I run out.
He was ballsy.
That was a,
Yeah.
A suicide
a little
mission.
bridge too far, maybe.
Yeah.
I've got something similar but different on that.
I also want to know how when he takes up Obadiah at the end, and then he ices over.
Yes.
He survives that because
Yes.
you bet you didn't check the icing, and then he plummets. But he somehow
We
they
don't
never
know.
sort of showed
They
how
never
he
show
got
it.
out of that.
They
we
never
don't
show
know.
it.
It was
Yeah,
a
we don't
magic.
know.
That was
It
magic.
was, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was just movie magic.
Anyway, yes, that'll do for me.
Okay, Damo, what do you got?
Well, why did the bad guys who were actually in cahoots with Obadiah want him to build a Jericho? If they were in cahoots with Obadiah,
Selling the Jericho.
because in the end they had him.
No, he was supposed to kill. They were supposed to kill him because I was doing the same thing. We were talking about this last night. They were supposed to kill him straight up, and then they didn't realize that was Tony Stark. They were supposed to kill.
And they said,
So then
"You
they
make
said,
me-"
"Well, you've got to pay us more."
but he could have just said, "You give us a bloody Jericho."
Could have, yeah,
Instead of him trying to make one out of parts.
yeah.
But then they were armed to the shitters.
Yeah, they had
afterwards.
so much bloody stuff.
Yeah. The trope of the villain having the same powers as the hero, but uses it for evil at the end. It's like, oh, here we go again.
And how evil did he become? Like,
He was just greedy.
Yeah,
All he
went-
was greedy. He went from greedy to being
to
a
being
maniac.
a really, really bad
Yeah,
person that's trying to kill people and
Yeah.
throwing cars full of
that's,
people at him.
that's my ugly. Like, my ugly is Obadiah becomes a very bad man very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, and I'm getting ahead of the thing here, but there's no, I think he announces himself that he's bad too early. Who do you think? Who do you think did
Yeah.
this? Who do you think did this with the board of directors? That was me.
Yep.
You don't need to say that.
He's
You know
not
what I
going to
mean?
be
It's
telling
just
him all that
arrogance.
stuff, yeah, and giving him a heads up. The other thing was when he remade the original suit. Geez, he made it a lot bigger,
Yeah, way bigger.
way bigger. He was able to do that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's obviously a talented.
Well, he didn't
engineer
make
himself.
it. He's got 1,000
He's got a
people working
team.
on it.
Yeah,
But the other thing with too, yeah, he didn't do any testing like Tony did.
Okay,
He was
so
instant.
are you done with bad?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got here Obadiah's pretty handy in the suit for his first day.
Yeah, that's right.
No testing.
First
He's,
minute.
he is like he's a black belt fifth dan. He's Gow at Cromer Community Centre, right? He's Cromer against the kids. He's kicking ass in the first minute.
Yep.
Right, like he's been in it his whole day.
Yep.
It's yeah.
that was hard to take.
I was
yeah.
like, again, it's the first time I've felt that way because I'm looking at things to be nitpicky
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But yeah,
There's a lot of leaps.
shouldn't have
There's a
been
lot of
there.
leaps in this movie, which it is a
competent.
superhero movie. There's a lot
Yeah.
of leaps.
Also, so Tony's first suit in the cave, fuck that steel's bulletproof. He gets shot 6,000 times.
Yeah.
And all he's doing is building from steel that he's got in the cave.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I look. Yeah, maybe there's that.
Mate,
And how does he get an infection in that cave? The guy's giving him open heart surgery. And how doesn't he die from the fucking blast 1 meter away? He's got like 4 pieces of fucking shrapnel that he's taken out.
Oh yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at least make it.
He did run away slightly.
No, but he's like 3 meters away from the bomb.
It looked like he had a vest on underneath his shirt, and a bit got through. It looked like he had
Maybe.
some sort of bulletproof vest on.
Maybe he did.
Because he took his shirt off, and then the blood started coming through. But I thought he had a vest on.
Oh, do you know the other thing? The nose tube. How long is that
that was-
fucking
It
nose
was like
tube?
drenching a horse.
I was like, oh my God.
It was at about 30 centimetres.
Mate, that was deep.
Yeah.
That was like, I think it might have been a catheter. It went all the way down to his bladder.
And, this is what you do. If
The
you
old
don't
Afghani nose catheter.
Yeah, if you don't have an empty Coke next to you, go the catheter through the nose down into your ball sack.
Yeah, no, it was
You don't need the Coke,
hey,
the Coke cup in the movies.
multitasking.
Yeah.
Multitasking.
While we're on bad, this was my ugly, but it sort of flows into this.
Well, let's go ugly.
So when they're having the fight scene at the end and he takes Obadiah way up, to
Yes,
ice him,
yep.
right? And Obadiah's got a hold of his leg.
Yep.
And they're fighting the street before that. When they come back down and Tony's helmet comes off, Obadiah just gets it and just crushes it like a Coke can. All right?
Why didn't he crush his
Why
head?
didn't he just crush him when he had a hold of him?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't he? If his suit was that much stronger, his power was that much more. Why didn't he just crush him? Because he just crushed that helmet like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, well, then that suit was doing nothing for Tony then.
Yeah.
No.
So I didn't understand
maybe because
that
there was
bit.
no head in it. It lost its volume or its density.
Possibly.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that was funny to me. I thought because he could have just crushed him.
Yeah,
Could have
he
just
was
grabbed him
big.
and crushed
He was
him.
big. Damo, ugly.
Look, ugly is, and it is real life. Like Stark Industries is this military industrial complex.
Yeah.
Where the Stark
It's
Industries,
a documentary.
they wanted wars for profit.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
So that they wanted wars, and it's just the same nowadays. With you got your Boeings and Raytheons and Lockheed Martins, they have all these government contracts, and you have they're in bed with the pollies, and you got ex-generals are consultants for these big companies. And I read a quote where once weapons were manufactured to fight wars, now wars are manufactured to sell weapons.
Yes.
Like it's a real thing, and it's pretty shocking actually.
Scary.
Yeah, and I just look. I don't want to get into anything, but I'm looking at Ukraine today. They're encouraging that, like just by they love it. The amount of weapons and money that's exchanging hands is huge.
Yeah.
But it's a real thing.
Yeah. You really made it real.
Yeah. Yep. That is my ugly.
Yeah. Thank you, Damon.
Nice. Just good work. I like that.
Well done.
Like that ugly.
What way to bring a downer on the fucking podcast. Right. Okay, my ugly, of course, was Obadiah. It's a shit name, for one.
Obadiah Stane.
Yeah. Cum stain. He becomes a very bad man very quickly. He starts just collateral damaging people, and it's just, that's it.
But that name, I saw this guy said, with a name like Obadiah Stane, you'd think he was some lot of Civil War general. Like, that's how old that
Do you
name
know what
sounds.
his name is when he becomes the big
Warmonger or something like
suit?
that?
The Ironmonger.
Oh, the Ironmonger, yeah.
Well, they say he says that in the movie. We're ironmongers.
Yeah.
But Obadiah, all I can think of is Jedediah. Jedediah
Yes, from
Springfield.
Springfield, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the founders.
Absolutely. All right. Zamos. Quickfire.
Oh, yes, quick fire. Now, I've noticed Morg starts with lookalikes, so I'll have to do that.
you can
then.
do that if you
Now,
want.
there's a dead set lookalike in here. I hope the heck you blokes have got it. Well, Gow's putting on his glove. I reckon he looks like Tony Stark now.
Gow's dead set Tony Stark.
Okay, so the lookalike, the F. Murray Abraham, Carl Malden, Skexus from the Dark Crystal Morgs. Lookalikes, Whitey, come on, you know.
You think I look like Jon Favreau, right?
No. No.
Oh, God.
Come on. Gal, it's like last week, Robin Williams, yes, meat chops. Yes.
Absolutely.
Who's you look like? I don't.
Obadiah Stane.
Oh, you think so? Bald,
Oh my
beard.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shave your head down.
100%.
Yeah, against all odds, definitely.
100% you are Obadiah
Jeff Bridges.
Stane.
Jeff
Yes.
Bridges against all odds.
Old Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll definitely shave my head
Yeah.
and take a photo.
Yeah. You are, like, without a doubt, I was like, the whole time I was watching it going, there's our lookalike.
Yeah, Tony. Well done.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's not a knife. A scene or scenes that have passed over into popular culture, Gal.
Is there anything that's really passed over?
Post-credit scene.
Yeah, the post-credit
scene
is itself?
pop culture.
Yes,
Yeah,
yep.
just that.
Well, they've brought it into all the movies like that.
I Am
which
Iron
is-
Man.
Yeah.
Is probably you could use, but I think the
I
post-credit
don't know
scene.
if Iron Man is like in pop culture for everybody. You know,
Nah,
like
yeah, yep. Okay.
What about Tony Stark? Just Tony Stark. That name. It's like
For sure.
But that's been synonymous with that. I mean, since 1966.
it
right?
has, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like Tony Stark. If some people get called Tony Stark, you kind of know the sort of person that is.
I don't know if this movie has passed any of that over into pop culture. So that
I'd say the
because-
post-credit scene is
yeah.
probably the biggest thing it's
Yeah.
done.
Well,
for pop
as we
culture.
had the flux capacitor in Back to the Future, I'd have to say the arc reactor,
Arc reactor. Yeah.
is also quite well known.
Okay. I like it.
Now, the Philip Stuckey Award for the biggest douche nozzle. Now, last week, I'm surprised you didn't pick Will Hunting as the Philip Stuckey.
We did say he was a dick.
I know you
He
meant
had demons, mate.
He was
like had demons.
He to me was
are you
gigantic.
Are you telling me he's a bigger dick
than Philip
than
Stuckey?
Clark? Than Clark, the Harvard ponytail douchebag.
100%.
No.
I am. I just did. I would have called that movie Shithead Will Hunting. There's nothing good about him. But
He was a dick.
I know. But I just didn't like the guy.
Who we got in this one?
Who have you got? Oh, it's pretty.
Well, I've got Obadiah.
Yeah.
He's really the only one that's.
He's really, I'm the head bad guy that gets his Scarface.
Oh,
Gets
Scarface.
up his
Oh yeah,
head
but
and all.
he's just a guy with a mission.
Oh,
I don't
Wait,
think
he was
he's a
gonna
dick.
put the steaming hot thing
Yeah,
in,
the coal.
in Jensen's mouth.
Yeah, but
to make
that's
him
that's
talk.
just all. That's standard terrorist ploy. That's page
Well,
1A.
and his other little or the little chunky the chunky sort of
Yeah, little chunky
sergeant,
dude. Yeah.
He was also a massive dick. And
Oh, the
then
one
he
with the
fed-
beard.
He fed him. No, he fed him to the
yes.
village at the end. He's
Yes.
all
Oh,
yours.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that. He's all yours.
Yeah, because he was a dick, and they made
Yep.
sure that they. Yeah,
He copped it.
yeah. Okay, so Jennifer Jason Leigh from Backdraft or the cast of Caddyshack thought they were in a different movie.
I've got Terrence Howard here. The
Okay.
performance. I don't think he's into it.
Yeah.
And going and with the benefit of hindsight, seeing what Don Cheadle did with the role, I just think that Terrence Howard is a bit of an outlier.
It's understated, isn't it? I don't really get the relationship between them.
Yeah.
Like he rings him up on the phone when he's
Well, they're
flying
supposed to
around and
be
they're
sort of
supposed to
best
be
mates, and he's
mates
sort of his defense handler. I
Yeah.
guess.
But he's supposed to be a general,
I don't know,
or
I just-
lieutenant colonel, and then he's taking
His
a
mate.
call from his mate, and sort of like it was all a bit funny. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found I did have a Caddyshack reference in it. Do you remember when after they fired that missile that blew the shit out of everything, then Robert Downey Jr.'s or Tony Stark's Esky came out,
Yes.
opened up,
Yes.
and there's all the
Yeah.
cults. You know what that was? That was Rodney Dangerfield's golf bag
Oh,
from
It
yeah.
was.
Caddyshack.
Definitely
It's the
was.
same thing.
Yeah, definitely was.
And I was like, holy shit, it's Al Cervic.
Yeah.
That's who he was.
Hey,
The Al
we're gonna
Cervic.
get laid.
Let's dance.
The Ripley Running or the Kim Mills from Taken for poor sporting prowess. Whitey?
I don't think there's any.
I reckon the guards in the cave at the start, they're not real good. They're not crash hot,
Yeah,
those
probably.
guards.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
There's a lot of patsies in that group. They don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, they get dished up. They're just
Yeah.
cannon fodder.
They are
aren't
fodder. They are just
Yeah.
absolute fodder.
Okay. So Robot Centuries, any additional
Nothing.
scene?
Nothing.
This did not need any more. No.
I don't think it
I
needs
would have
any more.
liked to see the hosties dancing a little bit more.
Well, they're in the next one for me.
Yeah, right. Okay. Radio. Okay, well, the next one. Now, this is Whitey's Brad Pitt. Now, you've already talked about the cucumber patch and the
Yep.
cucumber. I've come up. I want to be a bit more.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, a little bit more poetic with my euphemisms, you know? So I'm going to go, someone you would like to take to Bob Jane T-Marts for a rim job. So, Whitey, who would you like to give a rim job to?
I'm having a mile high 4-way.
With the hosties?
Yeah.
Gow, anyone you like to give a rim job to?
Well, the hostess is good. Christine Everhart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the hostie shit on her though.
No, yeah, okay.
I know Christine Everhart. Sam Rockwell's wife.
Yeah, she's a good sort.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
she's a good sort.
I'm going Christine Everhart as well.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Tony
well,
Stark took it to Bob Jones.
Yeah.
Well, Tell you what, mile high 4-way.
It would be pretty good.
You'll be jealous.
Yeah, I would be very good. Okay, well, I think that leaves. That's it. That's it. For
Well
quick fire.
done. Good
Yep.
quick
Nice
fire
work.
there.
Good work.
Quick.
Okay, we're moving into the stats area of the podcast. Listen to this. G-Man, take it away.
Okay, there's a person in this movie we haven't talked about. It's the voice of Jarvis.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Paul Bettany.
It's Paul Bettany,
Yeah.
who ends up being Vision
Mm.
down the line in Avengers.
Well,
and
Jarvis ends up being
well, Jarvis is in it too. Yes.
Vision
Yes.
because it's sort of like it melds together and
But he obviously in this movie quite some funny lines in there when he's giving it to Tony.
Yeah.
Jarvis
being
is
understated.
an excellent character
Yeah.
throughout the whole of the MCU.
Paul Bettany recorded all of his lines of Jarvis in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a hell of a
wow.
lot of dialogue, but still, that's not bad.
And I think for one of the movies, he was actually on holidays with his 50 out of 10 missus, Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Right.
And he recorded the lines while he was on holidays.
Yeah.
What a great job that would have been.
Amazing.
But
The voice work's got to be the golden goose for ages.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Do you reckon we could get any?
Yeah, for
Wow.
sure. We'd kill it.
What do you reckon?
We could do heaps
I could
of
play
voices.
Smokey the Bear, I reckon.
Right, yeah.
What do you reckon? Anyway,
Yeah. Let's
Um,
work on it. Get your resume together.
the bear.
And so, look, Paul Bettany said with this movie, he didn't know what film he's working on because he did the job as a favour to Jon Favreau.
Okay.
And he worked with him on Wimbledon. So he just said, sure, mate, I'll come
yeah.
in. I'll come in and film what you need, because obviously they were trying to keep a lot of this under wraps.
Yep.
I think with the end scene when, I am Iron Man, they told everyone that was doing that this was a dream sequence because they didn't want the secret getting out.
Right.
So they had to do it. There's a lot of,
Right.
subterfuge going on. So yeah, he just came in and did that job.
Wow.
Underutilized word, Gow.
What?
Subterfuge.
Subterfuge,
Well
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyone else?
what about Jeff Bridges was super uncomfortable with how the movie was being filmed because there was no script. He then convinced himself
He's a
that
professional.
yeah, he's a professional, great beard, bald head, whitey.
Yes.
He just realised it was really just a $200 million student film, and then he found it was quite easy to work on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Geez, Jeff, come on, lighten up, mate.
Mate, it's against, mate, it was
You've seen it all.
He-
Just bloody.
the fact that this was a success. He thought it was against all odds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the significance of Burger King with Robert Downey Jr. in his real life?
Yeah,
No.
tell that though. Yeah, it's good.
So basically, it was once when Robert Downey Jr. hit his lowest of lows. He was in Burger King and he thought that it just tasted like shit, and he loves it. And it was here and then when it dawned on him that he just actually needs to change his life around. And it was kind of the catalyst to get himself into rehab and everything. And it was from a visit to Burger King. So therefore, then here, this is when Tony Stark's life changed around. He made sure he got his Burger King in as well.
Cheeseburgers.
Now, also Burger King have a really strong affiliation with the US services, and like when you come back from say Iraq, I was reading this guy when they land on the tarmac, Burger King had got burgers on the tarmac waiting for them all.
What?
And they'll go stuff their faces. Like this guy said, mate, I got about 10 cheeseburgers.
No wonder they join.
Yeah, I know.
Playing the long game. Yeah. Bit of fur Burger King. So Jon Favreau knew this was the perfect role for Robert Downey Jr. as he thought that Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr.'s lives were almost the same, right?
Yeah.
That he lived his life in the public eye. He'd seen some down times. He's on the way back. I tell you what, I can't imagine anyone else playing Tony Stark.
No.
Do you know Tom Cruise was attached to this, like back in the 90s?
Okay.
Mate, there was quite a few.
There's a lot of people attached to it.
Well, no, because it went through a few different directors before
Yeah.
it got to Jon Favreau
Yeah.
and to that company. But Nick Cage, there was a 96 version with Nick Cage. It never materialised. Obviously, he went on to be
bit
Ghost
like
Rider.
the Superman,
Yeah.
bit like the Superman movie from The Flash.
Yep. So after Tom Cruise had the
Yes.
script had that script with Stan Lee,
Yeah.
and it went through different hands. Hugh Jackman turned down the role.
Oh,
He was
wow.
already Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turned it down. And Clive Owen and Sam Rockwell were also considered.
Well, Sam Rockwell was
Justin Hammer.
Yeah, Justin Hammer.
But do you know who was considered for that role?
Of Justin Hammer.
Yeah. Al Pacino.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
I suppose he probably could have.
Wow.
But Justin Hammer
He's
is
got a-
awesome.
Read
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Al.
Yeah. Okay, so when Pepper Potts is downloading the files
Yep.
in Tony's
Yep.
office, there's a document listed as Lebowski.
Oh,
is
nice.
there?
Yeah. And obviously Jeff Bridges is there. So pretty
Ah,
cool.
rightio.
Pretty cool. And also one of the cars in Tony's garage is a Tesla Roadster, which wasn't even released at the time.
Whoa.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, the car he's tinkering on is a 1932 Ford Model B, which was Jon Favreau's.
John Favreau's actual car.
Is that his
It was his
car?
car, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But here's one that we'll get to
And a
because
32 Ford was what John Milner drove in American Graffiti as well.
oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. But
One degree of
the original Iron Man theme track.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to that later
Yes,
on. But
yes.
but the track's actually in the movie. It's in the casino. It's in
No.
When he's
Tony
playing
Stark's
craps.
bedroom.
When he's playing craps,
Yep.
when Rhodey comes to him when he's supposed to
Yeah.
be picking the award up, the song is actually playing as Muzak when he's playing craps.
Oh, okay, as music, right? Okay.
It's in Tony Stark's bedroom when he's in there, and it's also Rhodey's ringtone.
Yes, when he rings Rhodey,
Shit, I
when
did
he's
not
in the
pick that
suit.
up at all.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. When Stanley developed Tony Stark, it was based on Howard Hughes.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, that's
the millionaire,
yeah, absolutely.
lunatic.
Yep. Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millionaire, lunatic, genius. All right. I reckon that's enough. You got any more, G-Man?
No, let's keep going.
Yeah, okay.
I am Iron Man.
Quotables, Damo.
Well, that whole first bit in the Humvee, but I suppose the thing that I did like was when Pepper said to Tony when she was changing his, when she pulled out the plug basically out of his arc reactor. She's like, "What's wrong?" "Oh, nothing. Just going into cardiac
Cardiac
arrest."
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Just put your hand
And
in
he
here.
was-
Don't touch the side. It's like operation.
He was so
Yeah.
he was so calm and everything in that whole scene. But yeah, that was probably that and the front in the Humvee. That were the
Yeah.
most funniest parts that I found in the movie.
It's very good.
Just on that, my one was when she walks in when he's doing the suit and she looks at him and he goes, "Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you could be doing."
right. Yeah.
That is good. I did
Yeah.
enjoy that. That was very funny.
Well, actually, and that other thing that kept putting him out, putting the fire extinguisher
Oh,
on
yeah,
him.
and he's like, "No,
his
no."
banter with that thing.
I'm going to donate you to a college or a,
Yeah.
I got, what about, again, it's the, so you're a man who has everything and nothing, which is the Jensen.
By Jensen, yeah.
Yeah, which is quite good. I also like the Agent Phil Coulson, Mr. Stark. Yeah, Agent Coulson. Oh yeah. The guy from the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. Phew, God, you really need a new name for that. Yeah, I hear that a lot. And Pepper says,
so good in that.
Pepper says something very similar
She does, yeah.
at the start of
Yeah,
when
she
she
does,
meets him. She goes,
Well,
"Oh."
the thing was that Coulson role originally it was just called Agent, right? Because it was a
Yes.
smaller role, but because of his interaction,
He got a bit of banter
was
going
so
with it. He's
good.
very
Yeah.
good.
Just, stone-faced.
And and later on in Avengers, he's the catalyst for them
Yeah.
banding together when he gets killed.
He gets his,
and they put the fake Captain America cards in him.
Yeah.
And they throw him on the thing, and it's
Yeah.
like he's the catalyst for them coming together.
Yep.
Okay. Any others? Oh, I got one. Blonde girl. Tony, remember me? Sure don't. When he's walking into the party.
Yes.
Mate, he would have rooted a million
Yeah,
birds.
yeah,
He'd have
Hawk.
no idea.
Hawk.
Tony Hawk Stark. Okay, do we have a 1 degree of Kurt Russell here?
Oh, we'd have to.
I do.
I didn't look.
I do.
You'd have to have Jeff Bridges in
Well,
something.
it's the MCU.
Well, because he was in Guardians.
He's in Guardians too, is he?
But is anyone in Guardians 2 in this? Is Favreau? No one. But he'd have to have done something with Jeff Bridges, I would imagine, over time. Probably.
Do you know what? I did have one.
I don't think he's done anything with Jeff Bridges, to be honest.
Wow.
I did have one, and it was a real tangent, and I can't remember what it was. Damn it!
Yeah. No, I was relying on you because I thought it was an obvious one.
Yeah,
So
just
I
the
didn't,
MCU.
Yeah.
Just the MCU. Just agree with me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well,
there was
excellent.
another one I found. I was going through it, and I found something where it was someone he'd acted with was in this movie, and I can't quite.
Well, if we're doing an MCU, then we go Ben Mendelsohn, and then we got our 1 degree of Quigley Down Under as well.
Love
There
it.
you go.
Love it.
Wow.
Film school for F-wits.
Nice.
In honor of Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback with a bang.
Yep.
Like Kim Kardashian.
Like Kim Kardashian. Why? Yeah.
We
why-
are
how's that?
doing greatest actor comebacks of all time. Now, we can't go away from Robert Downey Jr., who was drug addicted in the 90s, went to jail. His life was just a shit show. And he, from out of nowhere, after Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Jon Favreau says, well, it's time for you to star in a blockbuster. And just changes the world as we know it from a cinema perspective.
Yep.
Very, very closely, and just recently, Brendan Fraser.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So went into oblivion.
yeah. After the Mummy.
Absolute
or whatever,
oblivion after the Mummies. But he was in George of the Jungle,
Yeah.
Blast of the Past, Encino
He
Man.
was huge.
He was massive. He was
90s.
the it guy during
Yeah.
the 90s
Yep.
and just disappeared. Obviously won the Academy Award for Best Actor for The Whale, Darren Aronofsky's movie last year. Put on a fat suit. Was very, very good. It's a very depressing film.
Don't want to see it.
Now, we couldn't, and we're going to keep going with last year's 2023 Academy
Oh,
Awards.
you're talking gals, mate?
We're going rounders.
Yeah,
Kiki
good on the
Kwan.
Rounders.
Obviously, everyone knows him really only as
Short round.
either Short Round or from Data in the Goonies.
Yep.
And then shows up in everywhere, Everything Everywhere All at Once, wins the Academy Award, Best Supporting Actor.
Well, mate, he was big when he was young, and then he lost a couple of Lost a couple of kumites in a row, and then
Yeah, well, that's
never
what
happened.
happens.
I'm sorry, mate.
Sometimes it's hard to bounce back.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
He would have lost a lot of confidence. Someone swept the leg.
Yep.
Lost Danny LaRusso.
He just didn't have the roundhouse kick he thought
Bloody
he did.
hell.
Yeah.
Well, William Zabka sweeping the leg. He could be classed as a comeback too.
Yeah, definitely. I think he came on a few backs.
Yeah, but that Karate Kid. You know.
Definitely. Well, we're actually doing the Karate Kid soonish.
Right.
On, Born to Watch. Give me something. Okay, here's a TV one. Mayim Bialik, better known as Blossom.
Yep.
Oh,
And that's
the-
all she was known as
Yeah.
Blossom.
Yep.
And then, ironically, she took a 12-year break from acting, went and studied neuroscience, and was then cast into The Big Bang Theory as Amy Farrah Fowler, as a neuroscientist, who ends up marrying Sheldon.
Well, I've watched 0 episodes.
Mate,
of
I'm
The Big
telling
Bang
you,
Theory.
so let me-
But I know if she's the girl with the glasses.
Glasses, yeah.
Okay.
Bit dumpy.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of child actors though. I mean, she
For
was
sure.
a child actor that came back.
But
or
she had
that
12
and then
years
came
out.
back. Yeah.
Like, she was gone. She fell off the earth after Blossom.
Ricky Schroeder, Silver Spoons, into NYPD Blue.
Shit, yeah.
But you've not watched any Big Bang?
Never.
It's very good. No, Damo.
No,
It's very good.
I really just don't. I don't think it's funny.
It's funny.
Okay.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, Megan was the same. I watched it. When I went to Japan in 2010, I had a DVD just in my bag for some reason, and it was the first season of Big Bang Theory. And we started to watch it, and I was like, this is pretty funny. Never watched it, ever. Then I reckon during COVID, I watched all of it.
Right.
I was like, this is really, really funny. Then I rewatched it with Isabel. Now it is a constant in my house. Megan was like, don't think it's funny. I go, start from the start. It's a constant in my house. All I hear every fucking morning in my house is, hey, Google, play The Big Bang Theory.
Oh my god. Right. Okay.
And then it's on, and you know what you can do, Megan? You can say, and play volume 5, so it doesn't wake up the whole fucking house. Okay, we'll keep on rolling on. Another TV, Winona Ryder.
Oh yes.
Now, she was
Shoplifting.
massive. Well, that's what ended
Yeah.
it. So in the 80s and the 90s, she was massive. Heathers, Edward Penis Hands, Beetlejuice.
Was she in the penis hands one?
She was in Penis Hands as well. That was the end. That was after the shoplifting.
She did heaps. She was
massive.
really big.
She was
really big.
massive.
back then,
Winona Ryder, huge, and then obviously fell off the earth. Got caught shoplifting. She was poison, but then shot back to fame as Joyce Byers in Stranger Things,
Yep.
which is a quality TV show.
Yep.
Love it, and cannot wait for season 5, which is the last season.
Yeah, it needs to be the last.
It is going to be the last.
Better be.
Very, very good. Winona Ryder, back where she belongs. But I think the greatest acting comeback of all time, 1994, Pulp Fiction,
Oh, right, yes.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino, who the studio didn't want him, he said, nah, he's the guy.
Yep.
And probably started a second half of the career, which is unparalleled. He became an absolute superstar again.
Yep.
After what he did in the 70s and the very early 80s.
He made a couple of bad movies.
A
in
lot
the
of bad
early
ones.
80s, didn't
Oh,
he?
mate,
No, and even
he's done bad movies anyway.
yeah.
Like all the way through, he still did bad movies. But
No, but he was in some. I mean, he was in Staying Alive. He was in
Yeah.
Grease. Like
Yeah.
he did some
Saturday
really
Night
big
Fever.
hits. Saturday Night Fever.
yeah, he was massive. Blowout, which is excellent.
Yeah.
He's done some really good movies. Did some
Breathless.
shit ones.
Vinnie Barbarino.
Yeah, and Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah.
But his run that he did after Pulp Fiction for probably a good 15 years.
Was that Look Who's
Well, he'd
Talking?
done Look Who's Talking in the 90s. That's
Okay,
all
'cause
he'd
that
done.
Was pretty big.
That was
though.
80.
Yeah.
That was 87.
But that's all he'd done.
87.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The first one was big.
Yeah. But then it was really 94 when he got brought back as Vincent Vega.
No, Vincent Vega was when he came back, and then after that he did
Face Offs and all those
Swordfish,
things.
Face
Yeah.
Off,
Yeah.
and he plays the bad guy so well.
Yeah.
He
You know,
does.
like-
He does.
Yep.
All right, that's it. I've got a couple notables, though. I've got Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler.
Oh yeah.
I've got Eddie Murphy in Dolomite Is My Name, which is a great movie.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And I've got Keanu Reeves, John Wick.
Yeah, I think you could add Drew Barrymore in there as well, possibly.
Yeah, after
She went.
child alcoholism.
Yep.
Yep.
She was huge, and
Neil
then
Patrick Harris. He's a
Yeah,
one
he
like
was good,
Doogie.
yeah.
He was Doogie, then he came back.
yep, as
Oh,
Barney
well,
Stinson.
Starship Troopers.
Well, Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
But his role in that wasn't huge. You know, that was a
It was
a part
Barney
role.
Stinson that
Barney was
yeah.
it was a comeback. But he did. I guess he did a lot of stage. Like he's a
He's
Yeah,
a
he's
performer.
brought
he's a triple threat.
He's a demo.
He's a
Well,
definite
absolute
triple threat.
He doesn't make cakes though, like me.
No,
He doesn't. There's no way he can do cake art. There's no way he has the cake art potential that you do.
No, that's right.
All right. Well, that's it for what are we doing? So that's it for film school for F-wits. And we're going to move into a very special kick-ass credit song.
Oh, this is going to be special.
This will be special, and we're going to go back to one of the original pre-Stan Bush.
Well,
We're going to do our own take on it.
Stan Bush would have been about 13 when this song came out. And so Stan Bush would have been looking at the first, hair on his ball sack, and this song was already out.
Yeah.
if this song's in the movie, if you missed it, now you're going to get a real taste of it.
Yeah. So this is the original, and we're going to do it as a choir, basically. And
Yeah, it's a barbershop trio.
that's
We're going to do it as a barbershop trio.
From Skokie, Illinois.
We are from Skokie, Illinois. We're going to do a barbershop
Have to
trio.
get our lyrics, and we'll have to count it in.
Okay, so here's a very special kick-ass credit song by the Skokie, Illinois barbershop trio of the Avengers. And here we go. Tony Stark makes you feel
He's a cool exec
with a heart of steel. As Iron Man, all jets ablaze. He's fighting and smiting with repulsor rays. Amazing armor, that's Iron Man. A blazing power, that's Iron Man. There we go. Now that's the original 1966 Iron Man theme.
and done justice too.
Oh,
Better.
That's going to sound way better in our headphones. Than
But I actually think we may get done, and
Copyright.
we might get copyrighted here.
It'll
It
be-
was that good.
It'll be critically acclaimed. I know that for a fact.
When you have the songbird of your generation
I know.
and backing vocals, you know it's going to be special.
I felt it. Your voice, it just cut through. Like it really did. We were just sort of like passengers. Yeah,
I felt like I was outside myself and floating.
You were a combination of Jesus.
And dog shit. Yeah. Okay, star of the show. And we'll start with you, Damo. Who you got?
I'm going for Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
He killed it.
Yep.
Billionaire, genius, funny. Yeah, great role. I thought he did such a bloody good job in this.
Yep. G-Man?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. for me. I mean, he's just got the smooth moves in this movie. This role really suits him. Smooth operator.
Coast to coast, LA to Chicago. Yeah, look, I am the agree guy here, and I agree with all two of you.
Oh.
And it's definitely Robert Downey Jr. He puts the MCU on his back and carries it for 11 years.
Yep.
Without him, I don't think it works. As good as the other characters along the way, Captain America and Thor, and brilliantly casted all the way through.
Yep.
It's Tony Stark. It's Robert Downey Jr.
This movie really has one star. I mean, the others are all bit parts.
Absolutely.
Pepper Potts is only in it for a small part. Rhodey's not a huge role.
No.
Obadiah Stone's not in it for the first half of the movie, really.
Yep.
You know, so there's no one that he is really the focal point of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So,
And he crushes it.
But he is really good. Yeah.
Look,
I mean, he's always been an amazing actor. Even when he was young, he was
100%.
so talented. He went off the rails, which was a shame because
I think Dan-
everybody knew that he was.
I think Dan said that last week he one of his great roles when he played Charlie Chapman, who was a relation to Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
And
it's his cousin.
it is his cousin. It's
Oh,
Tracy Chapman's brother.
Right.
Yeah. He's got a very fast car.
yeah.
He's got a ticket to anywhere.
Wow.
Okay, so look, there's no doubt Iron Man sets the stage for what becomes one of the great 11 years of cinema. Don't have to love all the movies, but I think you have to appreciate what this movie did and what it allowed to happen. If this movie fails, there's no MCU. But this movie doesn't, and we are treated to 11 years and 22 movies that, as a whole, pretty fucking special.
Hugely successful. Even the crap
billions,
ones were successful.
Billions and billions
Yep.
of dollars.
Yep.
What we're seeing now from the MCU, you can't compare it to what happened in phase 1 through 3.
No.
Incredible, culminating in obviously Avengers Endgame, which, I've said it many times. I cried.
Yes.
Cried a lot. Let's move into the rank bank. Got a few things here. Obviously, love your feedback. Tonight, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, cheeseburgers, incredible underground workshops,
It is, yeah.
ironic weapons of mass destruction,
The Jericho.
forgettable one-night stands, patient assistance, and backstabbing corporate scumbags.
Jeez.
I've got something different. I like cool execs with a heart of steel. That's just me.
Oh, that's a
And
good
that's
one.
what it's going to be, Matthew Gowan, and that's why you're here.
Cool execs
He's
with
a
a
cool
heart.
exec with a heart of steel.
It's actually hard O steel too.
Hard
Ooh.
of steel.
Hard O steel.
Okay, so then, Gow, how many cool execs with a heart of steel are you giving Iron Man?
This is a good movie out of the Marvel. As I said, not a big Marvel guy. It's a good movie. RDJ's great in it. There's a lot of
Hang on a
leaps.
minute. Hang on a minute. How's that the first time we've used that in this podcast?
RDJ.
RDJ.
I said
I've
it.
got
I said it
written
earlier.
RDJ there.
No, I said it earlier.
But
Did you?
Just got.
I must have been producing.
Anyway, it's a look. Good Marvel movie. He's really good in it. It's a great start to the franchise. It's not my cup of tea. There's a few big leaps in this movie. For me,
You like real movies, like
I
Field of
was just
Dreams?
saying, me and Goobs, we like real movies. We love real movies. Not really into Marvel. Shout out to you, Cowboy.
Yes.
From Walker. Good old Walker Nathan. Shout out, mate. I'm going to give it 3.
3.
Cool execs with a heart of steel.
Fuck a duck, yeah. Okay, that's harsh. Damo.
Yeah, well, this is my highlight for Marvel. I love the whole backstory, the training. The weakest part for me is the actual fighting with the baddie. And that's what I think, for me, all fighting shows do kind of bore me. I actually enjoy the backstory.
You like the
and
character
training,
development.
and I love that sort of stuff. Far better than just watching fights that mean nothing. That just repetition, punch, you punch, I punch, you punch.
Yeah. There's not a
That
lot of
bores
stakes in this fight at the end, I must say.
No.
We don't really know what the stakes are.
No, but there's stakes all through it. So
Yeah.
So for me, this is my favourite Marvel
Yep.
movie. Actually, is X-Men a Marvel? No.
No,
Yeah,
it's not MCU.
no, it's not. But it's,
That's a different franchise.
but yeah,
Move on.
but yeah, Iron Man, I love it. It's 4.5.
Oh, good. Nice. Okay, this isn't my favourite MCU movie. It's definitely in the top tier. It would be in the top 7, I think. But without it, we don't get the rest. So I bow down at the knees of the cool exec with a heart of steel.
Mm-hmm.
This gets 4.25 for me. Now, G-Man, how are you going with this tonight?
This brings us in at 3.92 cool execs with a heart of steel.
Like it.
Right below Commando at 3.94 elaborate European flat tops. And right above 3.81 strong sides with Remember the Titans. And that brings us in to 34th spot on the rankings.
Okay.
And that's 3.9, and that's 34th.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
there's
well,
a
you've
lot-
got above it, you've got Commando, Crocodile Dundee, Beverly Hills Cop. Right below it, you've got something about Mary, Avatar, Molly's Game. Molly's Game has slid down the rankings.
Yeah, I personally, you've let the team down here, yeah. Can I say? You've done a Morgs. I think 3's harsh, but I get it. I think 3's harsh.
Yeah, but if you're not into comic books,
Yeah,
and
no, I
Marvel,
get it.
it's like, shit. Well, you know,
Well,
I
I'll
can
tell you what, Sloane can't call him tonight.
No,
The agree guy.
no. Well,
But it's the same. But look, a lot of these movies have the same formula, right? Like, guy at the start gets in trouble. Someone either he has something wrong with his childhood, or somebody betrays him, and then he
Yeah,
has to
for
come
sure.
back, and then he gets beaten up, and then he comes back and wins the day. So
Absolutely.
but if I was here last week, I would have
You would have dumped on
been
Goodwill.
the complete opposite
Yeah.
to you guys.
Well, that's why.
Morgs didn't give Good Will Hunting a go. He gave it 3.25, I think, or 3.5, didn't he?
yeah,
he
did,
wasn't too
something
high on
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan does suck though. We know that. Okay, so if you loved Iron Man, what are you going to love? This isn't particularly difficult.
Well, anything in that universe, right?
Yep.
There's not a lot. I was trying to think of things outside of that.
It's very
but
difficult.
It's
to.
very difficult to come up with something that's
I
outside
think
a
Damo's got something
superhero
though.
movie.
Yeah.
Damo will have something good, surely.
Well, Whitey brought up a TV show the other week for his, if you like.
Yeah,
this.
for sure. Yeah.
But I'd already done a TV because I did
Yeah.
my notes a while ago.
Because
So,
what you do.
okay, so think about a genius, someone who's resourceful, improvisation skills.
Different strokes.
MacGyver.
No,
Mate, if he was in that cave, he could have made that same suit with 2 paddle pop sticks, a stick of gum, and a thumbtack.
Yeah,
He
you're
would have
right.
made the exact same suit.
You're right. You're
So
right.
MacGyver, mate, yeah.
You're right.
He's there. He's the same as Tony Stark.
He is. He's the 80s Tony Stark.
You could go the greatest American hero.
Believe it or not.
George isn't at home.
Yeah. Joey Scarborough.
Okay, I have, obviously, I think the only 2 movies which are of similar ilk as an origin story are Guardians 1 and Black Panther. If you haven't seen them, go and watch them. I'm sure everyone essentially probably has. If you haven't been living under a rock for the last 20 years. Gal, you seen Guardians 1 and Black Panther?
I have seen Guardians 1. I have not seen Black Panther.
Okay. Black
I
Panther's-
like Guardians 1.
Yeah, Guardians 1's good
good.
fun. I just watched Guardians 3. Very good. Spoke about that last week.
Yeah, you
Luke
cried.
I didn't cry. Luke did.
No.
Never cried in a movie as much as Guardians. All right. Another good episode comes to a close here. Iron Man, the first start in the MCU. What we get to next in the MCU, nobody knows. But I'm sure it'll be a little while away before we get to something. Now, next week, we have got something pretty special. In honour of the late, great Olivia Newton-John, who would have been gone for 1 year next week.
Wow.
So that's gone very quickly.
Super
Yeah.
fast.
Sorely missed, an Australian legend. We're doing Grease.
I've got chills.
And then
They're
multiplying.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you're going to have to set the overs high on this one.
This is huge, this overs.
Well, it's I don't know, because watching the whole movie or just watching all the songs on film clips and
No, it's. I
and
think it's.
listening
I
to
think
it.
it's got to be. You've got to
Full
be.
movie?
It's got to be. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It has to be a movie. It can't be. You've gone to YouTube and watched for
Yeah,
inspo.
no, that's right.
You can't get inspo of hopelessly devoted to you, right?
Look at me, I'm Sandra D.
Yeah, look, this one got a massive run in my house,
Mate,
with my sisters when
Come
I was
on.
young.
As a kid after school, I must have watched this
Yeah.
fucking hundreds of times.
Yeah, yeah.
I
This has
reckon
been
I
some-
listened to it.
Yeah.
I reckon
thousands, not watched it, but
Yeah.
listened to the actual album.
Yeah.
I could almost quote this movie verbatim. I'd say
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, I've seen
And
it
you
that
know
many
what?
times.
Just timeless. My son watched it. Isabel is massively in love with it.
Yep.
If I said I want to watch Grease, she'd be all over it.
Yep.
Right? She loves it. So
Sandy, Danny. I thought you got back to Australia.
a rockin', a rollin'. It's just
What nut?
mate, one of the great rites of passage as a young kid. Something that I think every house owned the VCR of this. The video cassette was done. There would have been tracking marks all over it.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the great movies. This is
sure.
going to be a lot of fun. We'll be able to pick the shit out of this.
And I'm sure we're not going to be singing.
I'm sure there'll be no singing in any
No,
of the podcast.
I can't imagine
And
any breakouts into tune with this movie.
one of the great things, it's going to be a true Born to Watch 4-way. Because
Yeah.
Dan will be back on the crew, and it should be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see with his background what he thinks of Grease.
His background
Yeah.
as a T-bird.
Well, it's teabag.
As a stage,
As a teabag.
as a stage performer.
Damo is going to be the true expert in this area. He's obviously...
I'll check the choreo.
There'll be a bit of choreo feedback, I'm sure. I've obviously spent a bit of time on stage myself. Gow can tell us what's happening in the background with the
The
trees.
shrub. Yeah.
I'll be definitely looking for my Letterman jacket to wear next week.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we have to try and
Or
wear
a T-bird.
jacket.
Or a T-bird's jacket.
We'll be dressing up. There will be stuff going out on the socials. Guys, keep following us there. Share to your friends. Please give us a review on Spotify and Apple. Spread the love. Just
Yep.
like Sandy spreaded it on that beach.
She did. Did they?
Oh, who knows?
Oh no, I'm sure she would have.
She got a comeuppance. She was an Australian. An Australian girl in the 50s. She was
Yeah.
giving it out. She was giving it out. No doubt. Okay, guys. Been a pleasure. On that note,
Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec with a heart of steel.
as Iron Man, all jets ablaze, he's fighting and smiting with repulsor rays. Amazing armor, that's Iron Man.
A blazing power,
That's Iron Man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Born to Watch. To join us on our journey into some of our favourite movies of all time, you can find us on all good podcast networks like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and share with your friends.